in the high desert. Thank you, one day closer to being with you. All glory to Father High, and thank you for birthing your Son, because we all fall short of your word. You are the word. Without that covering, we'd have to face the Old Testament, where one sin is death, but nothing has really changed, because you said if you add one jot or one tittle, that's death. One yod, a letter, one thought, pornea, can't add our own, make up our own personal, our own self-will. So thank you, Father, for the understanding that there is no free will and there is no luck. Nothing's happening by chance on this rock. It's already written, and everything that's not written, and everything that will be, you created. You're the creator and the writer, the author. It's all going by the script, the scriptures. Every jot and every tittle will come to pass for the great for Old Goss, and dreadful for everybody else that goes to hell. But go to hell is kind of a silly thing to say, isn't it? Most people go to hell. Most people are already in hell because they don't defy. So thank you, Father, for being the Word in flesh. The Word became flesh. Hobadesh, Spirit. When the Spirit became flesh, when you birthed your Son, so you could fulfill all the laws, all the physical laws of celebration and ritual and fee and fine and custom, so that only by faith are we saved. That we have to die to be saved. We have to endure the end to be at a great and dreadful day of the Lord, where many are called and few are chosen, where the dead raise from the ashes and the dust. That is the final trump. Shofar. It's a shofar. They blow the ram's horn. Father is the ram. That is Aries, Old Testament, God of fire, and eye for an eye, and war. His heavens, his ruling class that reigned over the earth, the ruled. The people's minds are ruled right now by their alien dialect. Dialectus glossa, tongue. There's no such thing as speaking in tongues. There's no such thing as aliens. No such thing as free will. No such thing as Lucifer. Where do people get that? Venus is the morning star, not Lucifer. People are Satanists. Satan means adversary. They add. If you add, you're a Satanist. A jot. He said, don't add a tittle. Those are the smallest of the punctuation in the Hebrew, and he was a Hebrew Israelite. Remember, he was from Judah. He sprang out of Judah from the house of David. So, a lion from the 12 tribes. Remember, Jacob he so loved. He gave the inheritance called Israel. Esau he hated. He killed his brother, Jesus Christ, Satan, Moloch, Mithra, birthed on December 25th in a manger in the middle of the winter. Father loved Jacob, but he hated Israel, right? No, he loved Israel. It was Esau that he hated, remember, before either were born or done anything on this rock, because he created all things, so he made him do that. He does. He makes everybody do. There's no free will. Nope. That's a childish alien dialect, and somebody's brain is filled with no sense, no knowledge. That's hell. That's the word hell. No bis. Bis is the word knowledge. B-Y-S-S. Bis. Abyss. Revelation 9 and 11 says they have a king over them, the king. Angelos. They say angel. It's angelos. Angelos is the Greek word angel in English, but that is the word of a definition of an angelos or angel is a messenger. So the hell, right? The hell that the Apollyon, Abaddon, Greek, Hebrew, these people don't speak any of the original text at all. So Revelation 9 and 11 says they have a messenger over them, messenger of no knowledge. Hell is no knowledge. My people shall perish for lack of this. They'll spend their time eternally gnashing teeth in the abyss. The gnashing of teeth. You can't get rid of your flesh. Remember, Paul said, wrestle not against flesh and blood. We're not supposed to celebrate anything. We're not supposed to drink blood, baptism, and eat flesh. That's Mass A. He doesn't want us to M-A-S-S-E. Mass A is cannibalism, Catholicism, Satanism, Calvinism, Mormonism, all their insanities. Christianity, they follow the eating of the crackers, and that's the body, right? Eat flesh of the king of the Yule wheel. I thought the sun was dying, and they prayed to Saturn at the equinox to try to slow the sun from dying. They were silly little heathens. Kind of like most people today are heathens. Remember Jeremiah? Learn not the way of the heathens, and be not dismayed at the ways of the signs of the firmament, for the heathens are dismayed at them. Pagans, heathens, Satanists. Remember Jesus Christ birthed on December 25th in the middle of the winter, New Year, in a manger. They're Baphomet, their god of three genders. Well, man, beast, and woman. Bestiality Jesus. There you go. Give him the name. Name is Shem. There's no such thing as name. Doesn't say name. Where do you get that word from? Name. Noah had 3 sons. Ham, name, and Japheth. No, it was Shem. Name. Hallowed be thy name. That's not what it says. It says Shem. Remember? Hallowed be thy Shem is what it says. You say name, but that's not what the book says, right? It wasn't written on paper. So you read paper products and you got little 3M sticky tablets, I guess, right? Now you got no notes. You didn't take no notes. You don't read anything. You got to read. Reproof the word. Find yourself worthy. How you're going to be by your knowledge, by your study. How about he's the word Hokadesh? That is the word ghost. There's no such thing as ghost. Father is ghost. So now you're telling me there's ghost, right? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters or something like that? Call some slime creatures from outer space. Go see Marvin the Martian. Space is not north and south. So space isn't over your head. You can get out of my space. I am the Horizo. Hashtag the ice wall. Another icing people right out of America for being too poor. Or maybe having a mental disability. Who knows what's next on their list, remember? You don't have to be from another country. Yeah, you be a citizen. They'll throw you in a cage. Throw you in a cage. Remember? In a rape cage, you go meet Bob and eat cocked meat sandwiches. Big Bob, Big Bob? So, the old system works here in the old 80% guaranteed occupancy of private prisons before they ever built, called America, where more people are locked up in those private prisons, state and county jails, than all other countries combined. Right here. In this populace, 3% of the populace, more people combined. Yeah, look at, they wrecked them. They stood on them. Australia's the worst place to be during the warp speed, greatest ever scamdemic Jabadooski, Bell to the Ultra Jabba. So, yeah, they crushed them. They did. Those people couldn't even hardly leave their 15 minutes from their house and stuff. They were absolutely just the worst. I've pointed it out for years here now on the tube, Hollow Needle. 2 tubes, YouTube. You know I was a snake before you let me in. Then he let Joe Biden 2. Hey, Will Bill say I didn't have sex with that man? You just hear what I just said? That's awesome. I did not have sexual relations with that president. Oh, I mean that man. I can't do a good twang, so I don't do very good, Bill Clinton. Hey, that was pretty good, Hillary, huh? We know he didn't have sexual relations with that woman, but will he say I didn't have sexual relations with that man? Oh my goodness. They're coming for me now. I'm on their list. I've been on their list for a long time. You think I care about their list? Yeah. So, and that insane in the cheese brain, insane in the membrane, insane in the brain. He's got his hands on his brains, huh? Oh, blowing your mind while I'm blowing my brains. That's what I guess. He's blowing Bubba's brains. He's blowing Bubba's brains. Oh man, bring a whole new meaning to Hubba Bubba, don't it? Oh, bring it like a different kind of chewing gum. Oh, I don't eat gum. No, thank you. Don't do gum. Gum's got aspartame in it. So aspartame is genetically modified fecal bacteria, feces, fecal, little sweetener, little powdery white substance. Somebody had to try it, huh? Ooh. There you go. We'll just put that. Oh, that's just splendid, isn't it? Oh, well, it's sweet and low. Hey, it's all right. It's your aspartame. It's in all your gums. Look at it, man. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't chew nothing at it. I use floss, picks, whatever, and that's not good for either. All that stuff's got chemicals on it, too. Terrible. I would better pick up a stick off some wood and pick up some, out of the wood pile than to, but whatever. I'm kind of addicted to those darn things, but I don't like stuff in my mouth, teeth, so. My teeth are real close together, so I don't like to get anything stuck in my, damn it, and I ate a lot of red meat, so. What are you doing, my biggest puppy? Did you want to go outside for a little bit or something? Would you like to go outside, my biggest puppy dog? What are you doing, big? You're my biggest one that I have. You're the biggest one that I have. You're my best boy. I deb you, my biggie boy. My big. You are a good boy today. Hanging out with my puppy. Hanging out with my boy. So, here we are. Time's a ticking away. Oh, look at my boy. He's my puppy doggy. He just loves the dad. He's gonna just weasel his way in there. Did you just get your well self under there and weasel your way in there? Oh, you're gonna weasel your way in there? You're gonna weasel your way in there? You're gonna weasel your way in there? You're just a cute boy. You just love your dad. It's my boy. So we were hanging out today, working here at the farm, huh? Doing some stuff around here. Had to run to town today for a minute. Go pay the stupid taxes on the land. Taxes. Put money in the bank. They can only give me, credit union, they can only give me 2 rolls of pennies. But I did get about maybe 25 copper pennies out of, there's so, was that 50, 100, so 10% there maybe, or a little better. Hey, it was better than nothing. That's all they can give me, though. That's all they gave me last time. I need to go to town again and take the pennies I had back. I got about 3 jars of no kisses. 3 jars of non-copper pennies to 1. I don't have that many, but some people have hordes of pennies, so. I don't care. It's just something to do. Keep your mind occupied. It's better than being in jail or in a rape cage, right? So. Man's got to keep himself busy doing something, read the word, share the word, hang out with the puppies, feed the animals, the chickens. Got to do the farm duties right out here. So, oh, you're so crazy. You're such a crazy boy. You're some crazy guy. You're a crazy guy. You're a crazy boy. You're the crazy guy. He's a crazy boy. He's being crazy like his dad. He's a so crazy boy. He's a crazy kid. You're crazy. Aren't you going to make yourself wear yourself out? You're going to wear yourself all out. You are. Oh, you hear that? Somebody had their Jake brake. Somebody hit that Jake brake up there on the highway. It's back there. What? Or somebody, they must have been hauling. You know what? Hey, 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 and alfalfa in here. So, you being a good boy? So just taking down the days here, the attorney didn't call me this week, so I guess next week's the only week he can call me. Otherwise, he didn't ever call me. I don't know how that don't work like that. That's not how it's gonna go down. Um, yeah, right. They never stopped working. They never stopped working. They kept putting all them ISIS terrorists out there on the streets working too, right? All those private contractors, J6ers, and Proud Boys, failing the right of due process in the American streets. So they were still out there. FBI, CIA, all these alphabet soup agencies, jackasses at the top, or criminal imbeciles and assholes in the middle. All of them. How I feel about all the Federal Bureau of imbeciles at the bottom, whatever. They're all low man on the totem pole, but they're all part of this, alphabet soup corporation, armed to the teeth, and will shoot just like the state police will. They don't care. They're savages. So cops just go to work to make a paycheck. All they care about is officer safety. So they're just going to do their job because they're going to go home. They're not like firefighters or veterans. So never heard a song called "The Firefighter," have you? Because firefighter or veteran will run into any situation for the cause of into building fire. Save your wife, your dog, your daughter, your husband, your son, all an officer cares about in this modern, militarized police is officer safety. See, they changed it now, right? Their safety. So find a new job there, pig liquor. So, or pig. So, whatever. It's supposed to be servant, community servant. So I don't have any respect for people who don't do their job by the Constitution. And until they return it to gold and silver, I don't care. So, and that's a sore subject with me, isn't it? So, whatever. I'll get over it. Can't worry about things you can't change. Only can be not anxious. He's gonna do whatever's already written. Remember, there is no such thing as free will. No luck. So, whatever is not written, he is the creator. He is the writer, and he knows every jot because he's the one who wrote it. He's the one who spoke all this into existence. So here we are in this moment of time and place and space. Not on a ball. I'm not on a planet. So are you one of those planet people? Get out of here, Planet of the Apes. I'm going to go bang, bang, silverback gorilla on you. Yes, they're doing it by the script, so we know it. It's just most people don't know the scriptures, so it's like it's surprising to them. What is? But I know, we are in sorrows. We are in what Revelation says sorrows. So we're here. We made it to the time, not the end, but the beginning of sorrows. Very important time where time overlaps itself, and we're in the age of air, where the kingdom of God, which is within now, will be crowned in this age of air. So I live in the Pacific Northwest in Silver Lake, out in the high desert. So beautiful state. All the states are beautiful, but the country has just gone to hell in a handbag. Trample the right of the people, and to serve the country and defend the right of the people and the Constitution. All they've done is trample my rights. So I can't even get proper, litigation. So, yeah, I'll get your butt over here. What are you waiting on? Do it, man. Go where your 10 toesers tell you're supposed to be. Get mobility. If you don't have some mobility, I'd rather be 5 years too early than 5 seconds too late. Not in a panic, but it's better to have and not need than need. Oh my God, get the out of Florida. That's a 0-star state. I got the strategic relocation books right here. No, that state. I mean, it's a beautiful. Oh my God, Florida's. Oh my God, Florida's so beautiful. Other than alligators and crocodiles, but The state, that's another beautiful state. Oh, freaking A, look at it's surrounded by the damn ocean, being like an island. So you ever live on an island? Basically in Florida, you almost live on an island, but pretty close too. Closest thing in America. Well, we're kind of on our own island here, but anyways, Florida's a beautiful state. Been all 50 states, but no, they have freaking ruined the whole state. Is no, people can't even go there and get their life savings are gone there now. You know what I'm saying? There's like, in the 90s, there was probably hundreds of insurers that were insuring people through there. Maybe not, but now there's like 3. And so they have canceled everybody's insurance down there. People have lost everything. I mean, it's terrible to see people's whole retirement. They've taken advantage of it, and it's a lot of it because they just can't pay it out anymore. There's just too many of these. Yeah, right. We'll see, I mean, you are in an area that'd be prone to that, but some of this stuff is over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bahamas is this thing, like the one that spun, 7.5 hours inland. Hurricanes do not come inland and not break up. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I pay attention to stuff like that, Dan. I really do. It sucks because people lost a lot of money in Florida of all ages, but a lot of the retirement have just been handed everything, and then it can't even replace what they lost because of the insurance that goes on. And there's a lot of scams when people come in every time and rebuild. There's always a group of people who's going to come in and take advantage of that situation. And so Florida's a state that's not really good to try to. It just doesn't have longevity anymore. It's bad for the weather now. You know what I'm saying? There's just too many things that just don't make it a very place to, have, survivability. It's not very, you can't geothermally dig in. Everything's so wet there. It's just, no, thank you, Florida. But hey, you got to make the best. If you can't leave, just make the best where you're at. Every state has its issues. The state I have has issues, everyone does. There's no two that are united. So if you can't leave, that's why I paid this ministry off and paid the land off and paid all the land except for one property off, that everything I could at this point. And because, you don't know what's coming. Financially, they're probably going to change everything overnight, like a COVID diet. It'll flip like a switch. And then the new system will be here. And it pretty much already is. Most people already pay by some kind of digit, 01, card, credit, swipe, whatever, tap, whatever. It's there's no kind that folds or jingles anymore. And they already took the penny and already tried to tell everybody to go get those pennies. And look at me now. They can't even hardly get them anymore. So they're not going to last. They won't. I told you that one store in the Midwest, I think they were, maybe somewhere back east. They have 200 chains stores, and they took in 2 days, they took in 100 million pennies. 1 million pennies taken out of the circulation by that one grocery chain store with 200. I don't know which one was done it, but 200. They said, we'll give you 2 pennies on a gift card per penny. You bring back a penny, we'll give you 2 cents in groceries. And they brought in 100 million pennies, brothers, sisters. And I told everybody all this. It's the new, you know what I'm saying? It's the people aren't gonna be able to get their hands on gold and silver, brothers, sisters. It's just gonna be they just made copper a critical metal. They made copper a critical metal. See, silver is gonna be unobtainable at this point. It's getting priced out. It was over 50, 54. It's down right about 50. It's holding it's at this record that it's been before. So when people can't get their hands on this because the ratio starts closing, and then it could make this, see, metal isn't priced, it's priced in the currency. That's not the price. The price is irrelevant. It's what it would buy you. It's the purchasing power. I'm not going to go into the whole lesson. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder to get. There's been a 5 to 6 year deficit, like, 900 billion ounces or something every year we go in because of the industrial photovoltaic solar is now taking, like, remember, 2.5 ounces to make one panel. And it used to just be one panel. Remember, 1 ounce per panel. So there's an increase demand. China's always doubled their demand every year. My son is 26 now, and when he was in high school, he did a thing on China doubling in his report because he did a thing on silver. That's what he wanted to do his class report. He did it on silver, and he was reporting back then, look at that, how long that China was doubling their silver, and they don't report. The Silver Institute that we've already shown there's a scam like GATA that's covering the Gold Antitrust Act, all this manipulation with the COMEX and the and all the commodities exchanges and dumping all these paper contracts onto the market. Remember, they made gold at the Basel III, they made it a tier 1 asset, and then all the banks have been gobbling up. At 1913, the history of this, inception of the central banks, and in 2023, that was where they started buying more gold than they ever had in the history of the central banks. 2024, they outpaced it. This year, doing the same thing, and now too, the silver's been the sleeper. I've been trying to tell everybody, save silver, save lives. So they put 500 ounce of these. If it's in any you know what I'm saying, in a cruise missile. And look at all this war we got going. Trump's out there ready to throw more bombs on more people, blow more people up. Mr. Peace president is turned into Mr. War president, right? Yeah, here we go, blind 11. But anyways, this is the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. The silver is what is in all the switches of every tank, helicopter, chopper, whatever kind of switch, drone. Now all this flight, F-16, Apache aircraft. Just think about how many. Yeah, good time to good. People taking profits. Lying people pulling there. It's never wrong to take profit, and they're not really, because the only people who are buying right now are the whales. People don't know this market at all. It's only the whales that are buying right now. It's not the general public GP that is buying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is the general public buying. No, the general public's not buying right now. It's the big banksters that are buying these metals up. And something too, I watched, who did Salve Metal did a thing on that. There were more silver bars sold in India. There's more of a bar demand than there is even the your coinage, or your bullion, or whatever. If you got eagles or whatever, you got some kind of something that comes from some kind of mint, you know what I'm saying, that has some kind of where you can spend it into circulation. So, but anyways, the time's coming though, because they just made copper, back to what I was saying, and silver a critical metal, which means it for national security, they that's why they pulled it out of circulation. You should have known and seen that coming. So like today, I just live in this little teeny tiny town. When I went up into town, because I asked, I had to pay my land taxes here. I've owned a lot of land, so I got to pay the taxes on it. So, but anyways, I asked them for pennies, and they can only give me $2 worth. They gave me $2 last time. So, but whatever. I think I banked about 20 plus pennies out of it. So whatever, wasn't a loss. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't cost anything. Silver, it costs more to get into. Doesn't cost you to get in anything to get into a penny right now. So, and I was trying to get everybody get in on this before, it gets kind of too late, and it's not too late right now. You can get in on these things right now. When you see things like gold and silver pulling back today down to 50 and gold back to 4,000, you know what that means? Back the truck up. If you already have rice and beans and water filters and place to, store it, and have, place to safeguard it, protect it. Do you really want to hurt somebody over something like that? Better have a good place, out of sight, out of mind, but, I do think that this copper is the sleeper, and I'm glad that I've given the ability to people. And I didn't say it forever, but I've been talking about silver. Everybody that I talk to now about silver, like, damn, dude, you were so freaking right. You said for so many years you tried to get us to buy silver. Not like that. You were just like, dude, you got extra shit. You have a garage sale, you dumbass. You can only have, if they spread out all the socialism, like Lion's got 3 bikes, so Lion can't have the 3 bikes. We're going to spread it out like, Bernie Sanders or whatever. We're going to give one to Cannon, and we're going to give one to Sagittarian, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know what I'm saying. I don't care about the Father created all things, so I don't need asking questions. I'm not going to, Father does it. Father creates evil, Isaiah 45:7. So, but again, try to get people to, sell a video game, sell something you got extra shit that you can, darn it, extra crap that you can sell on eBay or whatever, or a garage sale or something, just to get in the market. And now look, it's $61 to buy a silver buffalo right now, $59. So it's not no $50, it's $59. There's like a $10 premium right now. If you pay shipping, you're going to pay more. You got to, it's not going to be easy to get into this metal. So they just nationalized silver and copper. So I would really keep my eye, made it a critical, not nationalized it. They made it a critical metal. If they nationalize it, it's game over, man. Oh, let's not call for that. No. We don't want them to nationalize it. If they do that, then they'll be taking it. Basically, you won't be able to spend it anymore in any form. So, but anyways, don't pay attention to the price. Price is irrelevant. Price has nothing to do with anything. It's the ratio. Yep. It's the ratio. It's the ratio. Guys, listen, it's the ratio between the two metals. It has nothing to do with price. Price, because you're just pricing it in an inflated currency. They're going to keep printing more, and it's going to keep going up because they're letting the manipulation come off. Remember, they could put paper contracts at the click of a mouse. They could make silver $40,000 an ounce, gold $400 million, or zero at the click of a mouse by dumping paper contracts onto the market. You are only looking at a paper price. And that's not how any market it's ever. You want to buy a timeshare on a building, you get on that building. It's backwards. They're basing the price of a paper market. I've been trying to tell people this is called a commodities exchange. So no, the ratio is going down is what going, the ratio is closing right now, Lion. The ratio is closing right now. That's why you're seeing the metal prices between the two. It was about 118 during the COVID. It was hanging around about 99, and now it's around about 80 something. So the ratio is coming down now. That's what's happening, and it's going to continue. So don't pay attention to the price. It has nothing to do with it. Price is a tool of manipulation. Because if they make it real cheap, you're going to freak out, sell it to them. They're going to buy it. Yeah. No, it's okay. I'm just trying to, trying to help you out on how this, you know what I'm saying? The ratio is actually closing, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you'd want to watch. You'd want to watch because when that gets down to, 30-1, it's been 15-1. When that was like in a silver quarter, it's the ratio over time. God's ratio is about 7 to 8-1, meaning every time they take 1 ounce of silver out of the ground or 1 ounce of gold, 7 ounces of silver come up with it. It's a byproduct of mining other base metals like ore, copper, zinc, lead. All these are, it's worth more, so they take it out. But again, God's ratio is about 7 to 8-1. That comes out of the ground. When they put it in like a silver dime, like a mercury dime, or a rosy dime, like a Roosevelt dime, 64 and older, the ratio is 15-1. 15-1. It's sitting at 80 right now. So you don't want to ever hold, you don't ever want to do, and then you never want to trade it back for a piece of paper. You don't want to trade it for a horse. These two for a tractor, these three for a little piece of land, for a little chunk of land or something, That's what you do with it later. So I was trying to get people to sell a video game. Get rid of some of your fucking, oh man, apologize. Guys got the crazy, so much collection of stuff because I'm a guy, but so do ladies, Get rid of some of those shoes. How many bras you own, or, I'm saying, some of these clothes collections. That's just one thing. Both of us have plenty of way, and it's not like you're doing it to get rich. You're going to trade it for something. So ratio is what you want to look at, because maybe if you want to see and you do want to get into the gold market, when it comes back to 15-1, you just take your ounces of silver and you trade them over for gold. Because again, if you divided up all the surface silver and there's been a deficit, everybody's allowed to have 8 ounces, 8 ounces, 8 ounces 8. There's 3. So if you had, like a 5-ounce bar, that's it. That's everybody can have 8 ounces. And most people, there's some people who have some pretty huge hoards of silver. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, good. Hold on to it. I don't, I don't like that because you might have come in here. Pride is a sin in America. I hate this, what this country's become, but hear me out. Just hear me out. It's never wrong to take profits. Like right now, it wouldn't be wrong to sell. Okay. It wouldn't. Hell no. Sell it. Go buy something where silver can be taken from you or something, too, or something. Buy a horse, some horse where you can breed out, make more horses, buy a piece of land or something. But if you're not ready, never sell your whole stack. Ever, proud American, sell your whole stack. Ever. You sell off portions of your stack. And, I've been doing this. I have a channel called Silver's Like Gold. I've been in the market. Mine just keeps getting taken away from me because I tell people where it's at, and then it gets taken. If I never told anybody where my metal's at, I still have all 100 pounds that was taken from me in the last, 5 or 6 years. Some of it was from collecting from quite some time ago, but yeah, so you trade your paper for silver. You never want to trade it back for paper. That's the stupidest thing. But you can in a pinch. And gold. It's liquid. I couldn't sell my land that I have. I got plenty of land that I could sell. I couldn't sell my land. But I could go right down to the coin shop and they gave me a check, or vice versa. Here's where it's at. Bail my son out of jail. Bam, he was bailed out of jail. Now, it may got him killed over gold and silver. It is what it is. That's the freaking country I live in. But it is what it is, okay? But just hear me out. There is the ratio. Stop thinking the price. It doesn't matter what you bought for it, because look at like right now. Proud America didn't even care. Now it's just going to go up and it's going to get nice. When they say, oh my God, nobody likes, when they was buying it back then, oh, silver's heavy. It's heavy. It's so clunky. It's clunky. Yeah, when silver's, $100 an ounce, and we're not probably very far off from $100 silver. Okay. That's very easily something when you look at ratio and you start looking at how much money is printed into circulation and you stop thinking of it as the price of a metal. It's what it'll buy you. Okay. You're just child when it comes to what this metal's been around for thousands of years, and it's never gone to zero, ever. Not once. Gold or silver have never in the last 8,000 years, never gone to zero. So there's been 4,000 plus paper currencies, and they've all gone to zero. Sank, right? Except for the ones that are currently floating around, and they'll get, taken and get, right? Look at, there goes the penny, so pay attention. You're not going to care about the price when you have this metal. If they make it really expensive, they have the money printers, they get it into their coffers and hold on to it and get to play the ratios. Now, you can't hold on to this metal forever. My son told me to take the metal. We're at enough to buy a double cab Tacoma, have some money to go on the road, and I wouldn't be able to pay off the ministry, but I had some money to keep the land payment here going, and I didn't do that. And that may have gotten him killed. I told somebody to take it from where it was at, and that may have been what got my son and daughter killed, is the actual precious metals that I didn't sell and have to live with this the rest of my life, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. It is what it is, all in Father's time. It'll happen, and the days are getting very close now, and I don't want to make any predictions or make any plans. I'm just preparing for whatever, but we'll see. Maybe they're safe. Father's taking care of them. He's taking care of me. I'm still here. But anyways, this metal is God's money. Gold and silver, it always has been. Gold and silver at the time of Rome, Christ was valued 1-to-1. Silver and gold were 1-to-1. They valued them exactly the same. And the ratio, again, out of Father's ratio out of the ground is 8-to-1. The monetary has been about 15-to-1. It's been as high as 120 something during the COVID. It came back down to about 99, 98, hang there for quite some time. You just look it through the ratio. Now we're back down in the 80s. So I would, it's not wrong if you took some profit right now, because look, you did okay to go buy yourself something, that you need right now to get yourself, because that's what the metal is there for. It's what it will purchase and buy you and purchase it. Eventually, you can't just hold on to it. It can. That's why kings and queens put this metal up, brothers and sisters, for generational wealth, because they didn't kick their kids out of the house. they stayed together, and you know, people didn't die of disease, they died of old age. You guys are just stupid motherfuckers. I already cussed once, so I'm gonna just let it out. But whatever. Most people think that, you know, some kind of piece of paper, you know, some digit on a screen or something is a, you know, that's not money. That's paper. You know, you're fooled. Paper, money is something that will hold and store value. So that's why kings and queens and people with wealth put it away. If you have enough of this stacked up, you are wealthy. Nobody can take that by Bitcoin, zero currency, inflation, money printer machine. You have it, you will be in good hands. So don't tell anybody where it's at. Okay. So that's been my mistake every time. And I had to spend it to keep myself from going to jail. So it didn't do me no good to have a stack of metal and sitting in jail, right? Thank you, Father, for giving me enough metal to get myself an attorney who hasn't called me even this week. Next week, guys. And then on Monday, I have trial. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what's going on here. Father is being brutal to me, man. Oh, I gotta let my dog out. He's gone to the door a couple times. I'll let you out, my puppy dog, for a little bit. You come back in when you want to come back in and let Dad know, okay? You be a good boy. Go potty out there. Good boy. Go potty. So we're getting close, man. So, but anyways, you know, don't sell your whole stack. There will become a time when the ratio is going to close. They did just put silver and copper on the critical metals list, so I would pay very close attention to that. They manipulate it through their money printer machines. They manipulate it through their commodities exchange, through their, you know, paper contracts, and to hold the actual metal. Like right now, silver's down to like $50, but it's still $60 to go buy it off Atmex, to buy the same, you know, silver buffalo. $60. It was 61 the other day when I looked, when it was silver's up to 51 or 52. So it's right around, you know, $60 right now to hold a piece of metal in your hand so you can hear it jingle, you know, make it ping, make it rain, whatever. That's not make it rain. That was stupid. My bad. You want them falling on you, huh? That's a ping test, called the ping test. So we'll see. I got a little bit, but I might be going to jail. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen, whatever Father's got in his hands, but won't be able to spend it there, right? So hopefully soon here we'll get all this crap straightened out. You know, not me. Father's got it in his hands. So I got, you know, we're these last few sands are ticking through this hourglass here, whether I like it or not. And I'm actually kind of getting ants in my pants here a little bit. I mean, I know it's all in Father's it's all in Father's hands, you know. Yeah, and then they're still allowed to and then they're still allowed to, and then there's still custodians over the metals market, right? Jamie Dimon, JP Chase, you know, give a man a gun, he'll rob a bank. Give a man a bank, he'll rob the world. America, boys. I don't know what happened to this country. Constitutional Republic, it once was gold and silver, the money was. Until they return it to gold and silver in a constitutional republic, this country has been taken over, hijacked by the banksters. Remember? Give a man a bank, he'll rob the world. So that's what's happened. But that's what happens. They find them, and then they still allowed to be custodial over the metal, you know, through the commodities exchange and through, you know, the paper contracts, SLV and GLD, and the, you know, it's a joke. You obviously know and study. Most people don't even have the time. You know what I'm saying? American. I mean, you American. But anyway, I just don't like to see what happened to the country that I served. You know, it sucks. I don't have to like the country. Fuck, you don't have to like the country. You know, to still like the land here and the idea of constitutional, that's what I am. I suffer because of my son and daughter, because I'm a constitutionalist. That's why my son and daughter, were targeted because of me, because I'm 100% a constitutionalist. That's what I don't like names, but it's a God protected right of the people. So natural right. Remember the organic law of the land, color law, Black's law. Look through this. This is all, they can put you under these others because by contract you contract with them. But if you don't contract with them, then whatever they do to you, Father will cover you after you die through Shiloh. That's what he sent his son to do, to stand for the ones who stand up to the perverted law. That's what Christ did, and they threw him in jail. People don't know that about Christ. They think he's some lollipop born in a manger Jesus, and that's Satan. But anyways, Father has it in his hands. I know that. I just feel stupid that I didn't take the money and spend it on. But maybe Father needs to judge all these people who did all these things to me, my son, my daughter, because that's, who am I to say? Remember, like math, he's the equator. He like algebra, it will equate. If you take some from here, it's going to come back to, you must endure to the end to be saved. So turn your cheek. I could have done a lot of things differently, but I chose not to, not by my own will, but by Father's, to make me meek, not weak. I mean, I could have easily taken some people's lives in this case, and this case probably never gone this far. And I don't mean like easy, it's just that's the law. It could have been within the confines of Title 18, my Fourth Amendment right, and as I could have protected this place. This, it is a ministry, it is a sanctuary, and they ruined it. So they will be held accountable. This place has provided emergency housing for livestock, and I'm back up. We can do it again. Hallelujah. Freaking A, man. The emergency services for housing out here, as I spent the time, and it's back up. I work off the stream a lot, but I don't always disclose everything I'm doing out here, but there is mercy, ability for somebody. There was a fire again during Paradise. I offered emergency services. And then when we had these fires that were here over in Lane County and Lane County and up above, they were closing in on each other, I offered again emergency services for people. Most people don't have family members to house any cows or house any horses or house any sheep or goats, or and imagine being a livestock and having that's your livelihood and have to drive away from 90+% of what you own with maybe 10% of your livestock tucked in whatever you can get in a trailer, and know the rest of it's burning up behind you. Most people won't. They burn up with their houses and their livestock because they just can't see it. They can't do it, and they don't even leave. And so I pleaded with people, to get out and, while they could, and offered. Now, nobody did come this far during the fires, but hey, it was here, it was available, and I live streamed a lot of hours during that time. So they ruined that and they wrecked that, and they're going to be held accountable even if they get away with it. And this day and age, in their flesh, Father will judge them. I mean, I recorded it. They drove in here with their armored vehicles and told me they weren't going to destroy anything else after shooting out all the windows and shooting my son and grenading my son and daughter, and then hitting me in the face with the grenade and tear gassing me with 5 tear gas canisters. It was all excessive force, cruel and unusual punishment, Fourth Amendment violation, Fifth Amendment violation. There's so many violations in this case, civil violations, that I'll file the lawsuits. And he told me to do it because of accountability. I'm just going to wait until I'm going to want to do it all at one time, because I want to see if they try to convict me. Because see, if they want to try to convict me and take me into a court, and then they can't convict me, and I have an attorney who's covering it, then that means that their whole case, it was a wash, and they're going to be held double accountable for everything. It will just make the whole case that much. It's a strong case no matter what. But I don't need the money. I don't want it. I'm not doing it for money. I already have filed it if I wanted. I've been scratching to get by. Like today, I forgot to put my phone bill. I woke up this morning and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with my phone? Did the sun hit the sun or something? My internet going. No, I didn't. So I actually had some Bitcoin that somebody years ago gave me. And I don't do Bitcoin. So I spent it on, got the phone back up today because, I was going into town anyways to, put money in for the taxes for the land out here for the ministry. I had to pay the ministry taxes, and I had to pay the taxes for the 5-acre parcel up on the road, and then the 20-acre, as well. So, I have you know, I have things that I have to pay, regardless if I don't want to pay taxes on these land. I have to pay the taxes I have to pay to keep the taxes up. I don't want anything to get taken. So this can continue to operate here out as a ministry. So, but either way, like I said, there's too many violations, and I will file it after. Even if they convict me, then it's a wrongful conviction. I'll be filing an appellate case, and 90+% of cases that go to a federal appellate court, get overturned because I actually look at the evidence. Like my attorney still doesn't call me. I sold all my precious metals, other than some small change, some loose change. Some loose change they didn't have, and gold. I never had that much gold, and I didn't even buy any of that gold with money. I traded every bit of that gold. In the 18 months where my son was missing, I worked my ass off and had to give it all up, and my retirement again. But it is what it is. This time it didn't get stolen from me. I had to go sell it. See, so it's good to have something that was liquid, and I with this time and sold. I'd never done that. That was a hard thing to do, to sell my precious metals, but that's what it's there for. So it kept me from going to jail. They're going to throw me in jail. They already had me wrongfully convicted, and it didn't matter. No, this time I put up an attorney. So I haven't heard from him, and I think it's been more than a month now. It's been quite some time. And so he said he would posture closer to the case. Well, you can't get any closer the next fucking week, man. Next week, the trial is the pre-trial is, then the 1 week later is the trial, So, and he hasn't even talked to me, I haven't even heard. I've bid tens of thousands of dollars. All my precious metals gone again, and I don't care. I'm not in jail. I'm sitting in jail. I can't spend my precious metals on commissary. They're not gonna, last time I went to jail, and the last 2 times I went to jail, I didn't have any commissary. I had money on my books, but I had to bail myself out. So, couldn't spend any money on my books. So, I was in there. The first time I was in there at $3. That was 9 coffees. How long do you think that lasts me in 2 weeks? That didn't last me very long. So it didn't last 9 days. I can tell you that. Drink more than coffee in the morning, first part of the day in jail, right? And then maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days. I think there was all gone. I didn't have any, but, anyways, I'm trying to prepare for that now. I don't care what happens. It's just so weird knowing that I'm so close to this case, and I don't even know how long it would be that I would go to jail, like if they convicted me. They've got 7 charges on me right now. So he's only representing me on 4 too, which is kind of, well, 4 felonies and a misdemeanor. So, but no worries. I don't care what they do to me. I don't care what happens to me. I don't give a fuck what happens to me. You know what I'm saying? They charged me with being the big motherfucking dog because I fucking hate pigs, and so I'm the big dog in this fucking town. Just like I said to Sergeant Rourke, the guy that fucking sells meth. I'm the law in this town, Sergeant Rourke, right? No, I didn't call him Sergeant. I just said I'm the law in this town, screamed it at his ass. Said, I'm not the bad guy. Remember, you wouldn't stand up for these businesses during the COVID, and I did. That doesn't make me the bad guy. So, I'm the law. So they don't like it that I call them out because they sell drugs. And they're tyrants. It's like every cop in America. And I'm a constitutionalist, and I helped protest during the COVID against Donald Trump, against Kate Brown, against Michael Taylor, the elected sheriff, So they don't like me. All this ain't my first rodeo. Go back and watch 6 channels here on YouTube for 12 years. I've been on their shit list, government list. I got more check marks, red check marks than any motherfucker you know. I seriously don't know anybody that probably has pissed off the government the last 20 years more than me. They brought the state police out here to try to fucking kill me. They killed my son and daughter. I'm the only one left. Nobody, they get me. There's nobody to look for my son and daughter. Seriously. I don't know anybody is. Nobody stepped in to help me so far in 18 months. So I don't see any organization, even as a veteran, victims advocacy. Just watch the live stream. You should have had somebody from victims advocacy. They should have taken every one of us to the hospital instead of the county jail. You know, threw my daughter, I don't mean to laugh, but in jail without a warrant. That's a kidnapping. You kidnap somebody, it's 25 years. You kidnap somebody with a gun, that's a life fucking sentence. Go look it up. You'll see I'm not wrong. You know? So can't come in and start grenading people. That's excessive force. So they grenaded my son and daughter, my daughter without a warrant in her sleep, and then accosted her body, arrested her, and took her in jail and threw her in jail after grenading her and without a warrant. Oops, bad arrest. They dropped her charges. And then she and my son went missing in September. That's what the state police say, but he was on the phone in October. Did somebody have him at fucking gunpoint? Because now it's starting to sound like that. Because remember, I made a pretty big deal about that on this live stream, didn't I? Went to court, guys. Live sounded like something was, you know, I didn't say that. I said he sounded like he was kind of dead, man. Like it wasn't even, the fuck did I didn't even know what I was talking about that back then, did I? So why does the state police say that he went missing in September when he was in open court over the phone in October? The fucking state police don't even have their timelines right on this case. They won't even take a report of my son's body when I know where he's at. I reported it. Remember, they threatened to throw me in jail at Josephine County, threatened to throw me in jail. I've been thrown in jail for reporting my son missing, telling him to do their job, telling him I know where he's at. You guys know where he's at. Go find him. Instead, they threw me in jail. There's 2 more charges. Remember, I got more charges. Harassing the police. Fucking, how about being a menace? I'm not a menace to society. I'm a menace to the motherfucking police. So, you ever a song called The Firefighter, have you? There's my 2 witnesses. So I'm not happy with this country's done to me and my son, my daughter. It is fucking totally excessive. I have the right to protest. That is my First Amendment right to redress grievances, is what I'm doing right now. You don't like it, leave, kick rocks. I have the right to redress grievances. I know the difference between legal and lawful. I've been on my boot has been on my foot, throwing people in a rape cage without a victim. Fuck is that? You know, no victim, no crime. You have the right to face your accuser in the Constitution. Otherwise, it's repugnant. But you keep following these bootlickers' laws, and you're a fucking bootlicker. So get out of here, bootlicker, pig licker. Pigs, people in government, not just clown cops. So get the fuck away from me. Remember? Fuck the government. The government's rogue. Government's been rogue for decades. Will Bill Clinton, you know, what will he come out and say, oh, I didn't have sex with that man? Bubba. No, nobody goes to jail. Nothing happens. And they give me 2 fucking appointed attorneys. Remember, Paul Palmer didn't even have a goddamn secretary. I guess he does now. So, yeah, they get onto that shit with that fucking Rafamil Ahmed. I'm on to that dude with his bar number. I got it written down. I know who he is. Not fooling me. He's another fucking fed. Watch. Turn out to be one of these. Yep. Whatever. Acting. He's an actor. They all are a bunch of actors. That's what that fake judge up there on the stand up there telling you, trying to intimidate you with his black robe. They all work for the chief of finance, which is the district attorney. And he's the one who's brokering your merchant number. So, but you don't know what's going on in the courtroom because it's just your some, you know, merchandise. And you've been merchandised. They took this from your birthright as a child. And that bond that they have, that card, that Social Security credit card that you have in your name, bonded by birth, millions of dollars, they've taken that and you sell your stock exchange. They nail you to the New York Stock Exchange, and your labor treasury bond is sold to the nations. And then we take all that money and then go bomb the shit out of the people with all the money in and then say, hey, you got to buy oil, and then say, hey, you're not buying business with us. If you don't play, you're going to pay. What the hell, guys? What a freaking nightmare, dude. I'll be so glad that when Father takes my flesh from me, man. I'll be fall into that. She'll be like, oh, freaking time to go back to who the fuck I really am. So, anyways, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, right? So, I won't plead the Fifth Amendment. I don't need to. I ain't got shit to hide. Remember, Marshall said he's going to hide my son and daughter, and then they won't even go look for my son and daughter. So, I will be making the very first attempt, probably two, will be after to report again Marshall immediately. When I get my charge, I'll be reporting again. Why, Marshall? Where's my fucking silver and gold now? Right? You guys said that you wouldn't. Now the case has been dropped. You motherfuckers said you wouldn't go there. Now there's not. Now you better go to fucking Mount Creek and figure out why you didn't go there. Because I'm gonna be bringing the feds to come in and figure out why you didn't get my passport. Because remember, I had to file a lost passport. I had to file a loss as stolen, and because it was stolen, here's where I reported it, and they wouldn't even take a fucking report for it. So now I want to know why feds gonna be making some more phone calls, right? No, these are what my fucking civil lawsuit attorneys are going to be doing with my private investigators that want the hundreds of millions of dollars of lawsuits, because they'll take their 30, 50, 60% or whatever percent that they take off the hundreds of millions of dollars of lawsuits, and I'm not gonna have to pay for shit. That's what the lawsuit's all about. You know what I'm saying? So fuck it. I didn't want the money, but these people need to be held accountable for what they did. From Judge Vandenberg, why didn't he drop if they drop my daughter's charges, listen to this, watch. If they drop my daughter's charges, that means that there's no conspiracy case against me with her. I'm not conspiring. Therefore, they should have dropped the no contact order with her. So when I called Josephine County, that no contact order should have been dropped. Cops would have went and looked at. It's fucking Dave Vandenberg's fault. Dave Vandenberg's going to fucking prison. You hear what I just said? Dave Vandenberg should have dropped that no contact order. Right? Yeah. If he would have dropped that no contact order, because I already told him that Dad Spencer had represented me, and that's co-counsel, which that's fucking illegal to begin with. And I told him, you kept me in jail an extra week. And I'm going to hold you accountable for that right to his face in fucking court because of what he did. And then so they dropped my daughter's charges. You know what I'm saying? Dropped my daughter's charges and released her, so there should have been that no contact. That's the same charges they're charging me with and still holding me 14 months later on the same exact charges, hindering prosecution and interfering to peace officer, because I told my son not to stop told him don't stop the vehicle. And they said they heard her in the live stream say that too. Well, they dropped her charges because that's not enough evidence. That's not hindering prosecution by just telling them she didn't grab the wheel, stop him, make him stop. That's not hindering. That's the same charges they have against me. 14 fucking months later, they're still charging me the same. You know what I'm saying? Charges. So why are they still holding me 14 months later? Because this case is dirty as a motherfucker. So here, they haven't done shit. Dude, I have a trial it's coming Monday next week, in one fucking week. Or the pre-trial, and then the trial's 1 week later. They have to summons witnesses. Like they summons me to go to my son's trial in November for his December trial. Well, shit, they can't do this in 1 week. And if my son and my daughter aren't in that fucking courtroom, you think I'm going to be quiet about that? They were there in the vehicle. They're charging me because they said I told my son not to stop the vehicle. Okay, I want my son there. Because I want to tell you why that I told him not to stop the vehicle, which I have every fucking right to. Because they're going to have to let him get thrown in a fucking rape cage again, like Kresha Brunsman threw him in jail the first time illegally. We're going to talk about these fucking cases, but no, they're not. They're going to fucking drop the case, so whatever. We'll see what they do. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants in this case. I know that, but it's because I know that he's holding these people accountable. Even the evidence just in their own discovery convicts themselves. They convicted themselves in their own fucking case. I turned this over to the lawsuit attorney. I already showed it to the criminal attorney. He's like, I don't do this case. I'm taking care of you. They're coming after you, trying to put you in fucking prison. So I'm going to get these charges dismissed against you. He don't care about my son. He don't care about my fucking daughter. He don't care about him. He's not their fucking attorney. He was his attorney, but he is now my attorney. So the only thing he cares about is getting me these charges dismissed. That's what he's paid to do. I gave him tens of fucking thousands of dollars to do so. He hasn't even called me, but that gives me a little bit more confidence to know that he'd have to call me and get me prepared for court. Tell me what we're going to say, what we're going to go over, not to say, Tracy, you fucking talk a lot, man. Don't go in there and say this, don't say that, don't say this, not, we're going to steer away from these. He has the right to steer, through the evidence on what we're going to, not a fucking word, man. Tens of thousands of dollars, didn't need to fucking do nothing, but I ain't tripping. It is what it is. This weekend, come Monday, I have 1 week till pretrial. So what is he going to summons everybody at the last second? Well, my son can't even be fucking found to begin with. I can't even report my son and daughter murdered. These are the two people. You don't think I'm going to bring that up in the fucking case? Say, where's Pat Wilkie? I was been sitting in this same fucking courtroom, and I reported my son to Pat Wilkie, the judge who said he didn't know anything. Why did Pat Wilkie come here? How come when I reported my son murdered, how come Pat Wilkie didn't get involved? Say, hey, that's this trial. We're going to need his son there at that trial. Witnesses, I said, where's Officer Black? Where's Crusher Brunsman? Where's Ryan Solberg? I remember what I said in open court. Everything I said to Pat Wilkie, the judge they sent over from Josephine County that was in the county I've reported where I was supposed to legally report my son murdered. In the county that I felt they sent a judge over from that county to drive fucking 4 hours away, 5 hours. That mean I had to wake up 3 or 4 in the morning to come over here on my case to get here and rule on my case for a pretrial that he didn't know shit about. You know what I'm saying? So it's all right. No worries. I know Father's got this. He does. John's got it too. John's not going to screw me. He can't. I mean, he won't do that. He knows I'll fucking open my mouth. And whatever, even if they convict me, I don't care what happens to me. And I have this dog that I love that I need to live in. So hold on. It's my dog, my puppy, but old puppy. I love my puppies. My puppy. Come on, my baby puppy. There's my best puppy that I ever had. Every single wide world that I ever did was my best guy. I love you, Mr. Vance. You're the best puppy in the wide world. You're the best guy. You're the best guy. You're the best guy. But I know it'll get taken care of either way. Either I go to jail, I don't go to jail. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't really care. One more day down. One more day down. One more day. One more day. Fuck it. They can come up here and shoot the house up again. Fuck my dog up. I only got one dog, huh? Only got me and Bo, so we're just loners out here now. Three's a crowd too is silent out here, man. Bones, I love this dog, but man, I had Tango for 13 years. He's his brother kind of reincarnate, but and I feel like a connection to him because he is Bone, but freaking Father had to take my dog from me right before trial, man. He's just so brutal to me. I just can't understand why sometimes Father is so vicious and so menacing my mind. You know what I'm saying? I have to get up every day knowing that I can't report my son or daughter murdered or missing, and I did to my attorney, and he won't look for him. And I did to Josephine County, and they won't look for him. And I did to the state police, and they won't look for him. And I pleaded everybody in here for somebody to fucking help me. And I'm not doing it anymore because I pleaded for 18 fucking months for somebody to help me. And nobody's fucking helped me in this ministry. And still love everybody. I'm not going to stop coming here and do what I do, but nobody did. And so, if I get locked up, this case is done. It's done. Nobody will ever look for Elijah John Werner. Or nobody will ever look for my daughter, Adriana Massey. They'll just go down. If nobody's looking for him other than me now and they convict me, who the fuck else going to look for him? Nobody. His mom, her dad. See, I don't know I don't know. I don't even know. Like I said, I'm not even tripping. I don't care. I just have to get through this date. And when that date passes, I'm either going to, I do have a sneaking suspicion, and I could be wrong. I don't care. Anything could be possible that they might drop it the day after pretrial. They might take it to pretrial and then decide to drop it. I don't think they'll wait till the day before. So And if they take it to trial, oh well. You know, like I said, I'm going to fucking make such a huge stinking trial, I'll probably get locked up anyways. I'm not going to go to no trial and not speak up why my son and daughter are not there when I've reported them to Josephine County as murdered and missing. And I reported to my fucking attorney that, you know, hey, I need you to get looking for my son. I'm giving you these tens of thousands of dollars so we get something going. I need to get this case going. I feel bad that I didn't do this sooner. But I felt this is a conflict of interest. You were his fucking, you know, remember I called you in this case how many times that he did his probation more than one time. And you know that. I called you, John. You know that. I would have to summons you to fucking court. So maybe he doesn't want to go to court. He'll just make this fucking case go in. And he said, no, it's not a conflict of interest. I can still represent you. I'm representing you on the case that they have against you. Like, okay, you know, and I gave him the money. And then when nothing happened, you know, and he said there was a delay, and I got all, you know, and he's like, oh, it's not going to change the case. It's not going to hurt for a delay. I'm like, yeah, but every day that goes by, I have a son that's sitting there with my daughter's body rotting or murdered, John. And I think Josephine County, the cops are involved in killing my son. Oh, we can beat this case, Tracy. And then, you know, well, if they can't report it to Josephine, if you report it there, then report it to the state police. Well, John, the procedure is to report it to Josephine County. I know, but to report it to state police. Okay, John, I got you. So they can start looking for him. It's Josephine County. Well, I call fucking the state police. They tell me they don't have any jurisdiction. These are the people who shot my son, grenaded my daughter and son, and grenaded me and tear gassed me and wrecked it. But they can come out to this property and have jurisdiction to come out here and shoot us all and assault us all and batter everybody, my animals included, but they don't have a report to take a report of my son's body. They can come out here with Bearcats and fucking MRAPs and armored fucking, you know, vehicles that are used for fucking war out here to this property and shoot the place up, all the front windows out of the cabin by tear gas and hit me in the face with a grenade my son and daughter, and then shoot my son, grenade my animals, ruin this place, but they don't have jurisdiction to take a report for a missing person. What the fuck is going on here? See? So nobody's ever can convince me, man, that Father's not in control of this case, you know, because I have to sit here and wait every day because I've already done everything. Remember, I reported to Josh Bezel, you guys know where my son is at. Stop going out and harassing people and do your job, and turns around and files retaliatory charges of harassing and menacing the police against him. Because I said, you know where my son is at. He's in Josephine, you know, and that's, I reported he's in Josephine County, Marshall Red, and it's come to find out that's where he was at. So I wasn't wrong. So they put me in jail for trying to defend my son, his right, you know, his right, and then filed retaliatory charges against me for menacing and harassing them. Saying, you're not doing your job. Here's where my son is at. I was right. So I went to jail for no reason. And they came and took all my guns from me. Said that they used an extreme risk order, no conviction. I don't have a conviction. I've been convicted of anything. I don't have a record, and took my weapons from me. So I can't even defend. There was only two. I only had two. I never even shot them in my life. Didn't even have that damn long. You know, years, but not, you know, and some I had never owned for a long time, but they were older. So, you know, whatever, man. Whatever happens, I don't care. At least something. Go to jail would be better than just sit here and for 18 months can't look for your son or daughter, because at least I'll know when I'm going to get out someday, I'll start looking for him again. Fuck it. I'm going to keep my word. I said I would fight to the death to keep my son from going to prison. Not with weapons. I made it very clear I'd never use a weapon. Very, very clear for 17 days. 17 fucking days straight. I live stream through Predestined4light, this former channel name, but it is the same channel. It's, you know, and instead they just SWAT raided the house. They didn't care. So whatever, man. You know, what can I do? Nothing. I can't do anything about it. So I'm not going to worry about it. I have a court date, and today's the 14th, right? 13th, 14th. So in 10 days. So the weekend gets over, it'll be in 1 week. And if they don't, in 1 week, this could all be over, man. Holy crap. I'm not going to even know it. I better hurry up and get off my ass. Get some more stuff down around here, guys. I could be going to jail the next week. Do I think I'm going to go to jail? No. Do I want to go to jail? No. Can I go to jail? Yep. They'll do whatever they want out here in this county. Whatever they want. When I actually called John, my to get this hire this for my son, as his attorney on this case, the original case, he was my son's attorney, which is weird how there could be a conflict of interest. He said, I said, my son's, he's in jail. He's like, Tracy, if your son was in any other county right now, I have him out of jail right now. But in Lake County, they do whatever the fuck they want out there. Those were his words. We can summons that call into court, and that's what he said to me. They do whatever they want. So it's a little over the top, but what Father wouldn't give it to me if I guess I couldn't handle it, guys. So thanks for your tithe in the ministry. I wouldn't get that. I'd be in jail by the time I get that, but maybe I won't, and I will take whatever. I don't like that AdSense takes like 70% or 30%, but we'll use that for some road money because I want to take a vacation. I should have done it. If I'd have listened to my son, spent the gold and silver, he might still be alive today. They might have came here or whatever, and he might have turned himself in. I'm the one who stepped in and got involved and got him killed possibly. So I have everything to do with it. Not literally, but, if I'd have taken the gold and silver and went on the road, I would have been able to buy the money to buy the double cab. And look, I've spent $120,000, $30,000 in just the last 18 months through, that's my cost. That's what I'm spent, without no Social Security, no disability, no veterans benefits. I was a single parent for 8 years, taking care of no, nothing. I've done this all by the sweat of my brow. So, and everything keeps getting taken because Father makes him do it. So who am I mad at? Me. I'm mad at me for not listening to my son. What a stupid man I was to not. I could have been so heavily invested in this, both ministries, and been tithing food all around the world right now. But maybe that day will come in the future. Father's just going to do it in his timing. My timing's not, has anything to do with anything. So, oh well, 7 days from Monday, and I have a court date for pretrial. So I'm just going to get prepared for that. 1 week later, they have a trial prepared for me for 1 day without even having my, and they're the one case. Yeah, right. The fuck could they have a trial when my son and daughter aren't even there and they're on my discovery? You know what I'm saying? So Father's will be done, man. I'm not tripping. Like I said, even if I went to jail, it would be something in this case so I could get moving forward. I want to start looking for my son again. You know what I'm saying? I want to make headway when I do this. I don't want to just do this half-ass. I located them. I reported where they were at. I knew I had my daughter's car. They never went to see it to locate if my daughter's car was there, and my daughter's car was there. So he lured, why was my daughter's car there? They should have went and investigated her. They dropped the case against her. So they didn't have no contact order with her. They should have went in there and looked for her. Irregardless, Elijah, now they had that thing, but that had nothing to do with, if they made contact with Adriana, they should have done that just, you know what I'm saying? Just for her alone. I said, I don't care about imagine having to call the police on your son, knowing they already shot him. And that's what I had to say to Josephine County. Please, the state police already shot my son. Please do not shoot him. But I'm more concerned about my daughter being raped or her body being extorted or something happening to her from Marshall Radonich, Mount Creek, Oregon, Josephine County. Remember what they said? If we go there and we make contact, you have a no contact order with them, we're going to throw you in jail. They didn't have a no contact order. Josephine County is asses in the sling for that, brothers, sisters. They denied me call for service. There was no contact order with Adriana. They had dropped the case back in September. There's no reason they should have went and looked for her, or not looked for her. They should have went and looked for her and her alone. They could have left the whole silver, gold, passport, Marshall thing alone, but not going to look for Adriana is going to be the fucking downfall of Josephine County too. They denied me call for service. That's why I'm not happy with this attorney, and that's fine. He's not representing me on that, but it will get taken care of in the civil lawsuit. They're going to look into why did Josephine County, I'm going to place a whole separate lawsuit against Josephine County for denying me call for service that day, knowing that Dave Vandenberg had, the case was dropped. So there's no reason that they should have not gone to look for Adriana that day. I reported her being raped, murdered. I reported a murder and they're not going to do anything about it? Bullshit. Their ass is in a sling on that one. And Dave Vandenberg's going to have hell to pay for that one too, because he should have dropped the no contact order long ago. And that's why they said they didn't have it, because that's what they show in there. But there was no contact order with me and Adriana. The case is dropped on her. You can't have a no contact order with me. With her case is dropped. That's like you can't have a conspiracy charge, like they're trying to charge me with criminal conspiracy that I conspired with Adriana because I told her not to, told my son not to stop the cars. He told her not to stop, that we conspired. That shit just happened on the fly. There was no conspiracy. It was a bunch of bullshit. So Dave Vandenberg, that's going to come into question too. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. And if I went to jail, I would be the first person that was wrongfully convicted, man. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people sitting in jail who just took a deal. They didn't do it. They just took a deal. They took a deal and they're still sitting in jail. So fuck it. Take it to the box, baby. Take it to the box. Take it to the box. So I think I'm going to take a bong hit. How about that? Take a bong hit. Oh, I might be going to jail. I don't get no bong hits in jail, man. No bong hits in jail. Boy, those little thin, stupid mats, and they don't have pillows, and a lot of jail, no pillows. And so you got to make a pillow out of a blanket, and then you don't have a blanket, or whatever, you're sweating. Yeah, fuck, man. Fuck's sake, boys. So, whatever. Wouldn't be the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but I think what I just went through is a lot worse than going to jail, guys. So, it's going to be hard to sit in there and be pissed knowing that nobody's looking for my son. That's going to be the hardest thing, sitting in there knowing that nobody's looking for my son. Like, God damn it, you're just holding me here, aren't you? You're just never going to let me know if my son's alive or dead or nothing. I just get to sit here in this limbo. It's like I'm truly dead. They shot me that day, and I've just been in this state of purgatory, like the Catholics call it. Fuck Catholics. Oh, that's some of that Cobra Commander here. Get to put the fucking snake grip on you. No, it's sativa, so it's not like that's not indica. Oh, thank you, Father. Oh, one more. This is the bomb drizzle here, huh? Can't say bomb in America. Obama. Look at those meds. Look at that. Look at that. That's meds. Look at that. Where'd it all go? None of that hard ball, no. Look at that. I don't suck those down in they don't pull those down, and I don't do the. That's medicinal grade right there, boys. That's medicinals. You don't get that out of that dispensary. It's gene edited. So if you smoke the gene edited, you're going to get gene edited. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me, I sicked. Girl Scout cookie. Peanut butter cookie. Peanut butter cookie. So, all right, I gotta do some herbs for my because I can. Oh yeah. Well, I better get my butt in gear, guys. I really don't have that many days. I need to come up with some more funding. And it's like, I don't care about money, but I need to come up with some more funding. If I can leave, do I want to go? You know? Whatever it is, man, I could be dead. I swear I feel dead sometimes, like nothing's happened. I get the attorney. I'm 1 week away, and the attorney hasn't called me in over a month. Oh, well, it's not a big deal if we put a postpone. Yeah, John, but every fucking day that we postpone this case, nobody's looking for my son's dead body, John. Until I get this case taken care of, nobody's looking for him. I think Josephine County's involved in the death of my son, John. But we can beat this case, Tracy. He won't even talk about my son. It is a fucking hell. But hell's no knowledge. I mean, I have no knowledge of what's going on. It is. It's kind of a hell. Ooh, interesting. I guess I am in a hell per sense, but not. I don't know where my son's at. Oh my gosh, this is a hell, isn't it? I died and went to hell. Shit. Damn it. Oh well, it's eternal. I'm eternal, so there'll be the little season. I'll be back. I'll get my flesh back. I'm going to take some hella bong hits. Help, spells! You got me screaming, help, spells! Fire for the flame from the depths of hell. When I grip the microphone, I tend to rock well. Burning like the rays that shoot from the sun. Cooling, title, break back in. Yeah, broke back, huh? Never mind. Better say, oh. Hey, that's the, oh. I'm like, whoa. So, here we are. On the interweb again, where my only friends are online. I don't have friends and family, so I'm redressing my grievances to the whole wide world. Being the General Hospital, welcome to These Are the Days of Our Lives as we spin. You're not spinning me. Get out of here, pervert. So, no spinning in here, all right? If you're spinning, you got to go. Corkscrewing. Listen here, wino. Winos ain't afraid of nothing but running out of wine. Drink it up, baby. Drink it up, baby. Oh. Twist that. See, twist. That's pervert. There we go. Right on cue, boys. Right on cue. So. Ooh. So. All right. Well. What say you? What's on your record player? How you doing, Skip? Wiki, y'all. What's going on in your wiki world? Wiki world, wide world, and the whole wide twist. WHIRLED world or WORLD? Dropping the D, huh? He's nuts. No. The man's nuts, grab him. I'm like a chipmunk. I'm like a squirrel. I'm always trying to get a nut. I do. I'll put up stores for the winter. A bird don't need to be told to fly south because it's got instincts. I got instincts like an animal. Bang, bang, gorilla, remember? I got Muslims going ham in here. No, I don't eat pork. Listen here, Porky Pig, remember? Don't sup with vipers. You know, as a snake before you let me in. Then he let Joe Biden. I don't eat pork. Don't cash your pearls for swine. Pearls. They're like little pearl necklaces. Remember Bubba? Hey, my name is Bubba. So, Mr. Handjob. Give him a hand. Donald Trump, right? Oh. The commander-in-chief. Oh. Full of hot air. Oh, wrong gender. Oh, gender benders. More gender benders. Gender. You can't bend the gender. So, all right, get him out of here. Get him up against the wall. It is what it is. He'll do his job. He will, Justin. He'll do his job. I think what he's doing is, well, I feel okay because if he needed me to do anything, he'd be calling me, preparing me for a big case. He already kind of threw him for a loop because they kind of licked his ass, gave him a rim job. And they're like, oh, I've never seen their fucking camera shit ever. People told me even the reporters like, dude, that thing don't, they have it never works. They never use it. They had it working for him now twice. And so when he asked for more time the first time, the judge didn't know because they were just scatterbrained. They're not used to doing anything. And he says it's a shit show. When he calls down there, it's just a big shit show. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So he hasn't prepared me for anything. So they asked him, because they put it set up for 3 days, which is stupid. The trial, if it took to be a proper fucking trial for what I think needs to be, it would take years to put this case, to litigation, but they're not doing it properly. So whatever, I'll go with whatever this attorney thinks. And he works in the system. He works for the queen. He works for the fucking bar, just like that appointed counsel works for the bar, just like the judge works for the bar, just like the district attorney works for the bar. They all work for the bar. You know what I'm saying? They all work for the bar. So I know that. I'm not stupid. Remember, I used to be one of these pigs myself. So that's why I'm a little more versed. That's why they bring it a little bit hotter against people like me, because they know I've had this, done this profession. So, but either way, like I said, I know that they don't really have, anything prepared for a trial. And that when John came on, he came in there and they're like, well, so they kind of groveled to him and asked him if he needed more time, for trial than 3 days. And he said, no, I need 1 day. And at the time, I'm like, well, fuck, why I give all that goddamn money for 1 fucking day? I mean, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. But then I started thinking about it. I think he's that confident, because he's told me outright, straight out, that there is no case. Like, I didn't stop my son, physically stop him. So that's not a hindering. I didn't hinder. I didn't make my son physically. I just told him, don't stop the car. I did not do anything other than that. My daughter did the same thing, and they charged her with that, but they dropped her charges 14 months ago. They're still holding me on the same charges they dropped her charges for 14 months ago. So you don't think I'm going to bring that up in fucking court too? Where's my daughter? Oh, her charges got dropped because she said, don't stop the car. Your evidence against me is I said, don't stop the car. Are we done here? So, you know what I'm saying? I do think that the attorney is just going to go there and say, you should drop the fucking case because you dropped his daughter's charges for the same thing. He said, don't stop the car, but he didn't get and, physically stop. He told him to jump over the fence, but if you want to try to charge him, but that's not physically interfering with him. He didn't, stop him. He could tell him to jump the fucking fence. That's not hindering the fucking prosecution. He can say, fucking jump off a cliff, dumb motherfucker. That's not hindering anybody. And when the cop showed up, he didn't have his lights on. He didn't get out of the car. He didn't identify himself. He didn't have sirens on. He didn't make any kind of fucking pursuit. So that's not no felony pursuit. And Elijah's speed never increased, ever. It says that in the discovery. I have the fucking report. He was doing 55 miles an hour because it's 55 down this road. We came almost 4 miles down the road. I think the cop, he couldn't see out the back of the window, turned his lights on. I just told Elijah, don't fucking go home, because we're going to get this old lady a shower, and fucking came home, got in the car, told him, go in the house, fuck it. I'll deal with this shit. And I did. They pulled up. It was Lance Brown. I thought it was Sam Birch, whatever. Didn't even call him the right name. He didn't get out and correct me and say, I'm not fucking Sam Brown or Lance Brown. I'm Lance Brown, Tracy, not Sam Birch, you fucking silly goof. You know why he's screaming at me to quit my job? He didn't tell me to quit my job. I'm Lance Brown. Get on the ground, motherfucker. I went back in to get the cat because the door was open. I'm like, oh, fuck my people. Let's talk about the cat. And I came out with Torah, so just sucks, man. I did all this shit for my son, and now he hates me so much and never wants to talk to me again when he's going to move here on the 20-acre parcel over there. I had 65, but I sold 20 to Kevin. I have this 20, which has been donated to the ministry. I have another 20 up the road, which is still payout. And then I have another 5-acre parcel for sale. They were going to move on that 20-acre parcel and have their own 20 acres. They were doing everything they needed to do. Selling all his fucking fast little cars, and he bought a Jeep. So fuck this, dude. And I don't know, like I said, every time I pushed it, it'd make it worse. So I'll just have to that's what I'm trying to be patient with Father. I'm going to be patient with Father. He's going to do whatever he wants. with me, that's obvious. I can't do nothing. I have not been able to accomplish anything in this case but make it worse. So 544 days it'll be on November 24th, 11/4/544. And on 12/2/12/2, it'll be 5/5/2. So Father does everything by the number. He always does. And so, whatever, man. All I did was use my voice. Nobody shot anybody. Nobody did anything like that. And I can prove my son did his probation 2 times. 2 times. 2 times. So they owe my son a lot of money. If my son could ever be found, remember, I have two of these. This is his, not mine. I have a second one, remember? So these are probably worth $25 million a piece. These are flash concussion grenades that were thrown without proper force over somebody telling them not to stop the car when they could have came here for 17 days. They could have called this phone. They could have called me. They could have come to this fucking gate. They didn't try to make any attempt. Instead, they just brought 25 fucking men with guns and just shot this fucking place up. Grenaded my daughter, my son. This is her grenade. This is his grenade. Those both have $25 million lawsuits. Is separately. See what I'm saying? Look at that. That's their grenade pin. I didn't get hit with that grenade. I got hit with this grenade. So they came out and woke me up, startled me from asleep, didn't figure out what woke me up. Is because they threw that thing inside that motorhome and I still heard it from asleep. Poof, heard the, got up like, oh, looked out there and seen the fucking Bearcat or whatever. They had their fucking, they didn't have their lights on. I don't think at first when I woke up, and then they flicked them on, whatever, and then, could see they had the little red or whatever, and then the lights were whited out, then you couldn't quite see it. But then I just started talking to you guys. I knew and I knew it was the state police because fucking how the fuck are they, you know what I'm saying? I knew announced as the fucking state police, because I seen how tall the fucking, they were Bearcats. I know that the fucking local PD doesn't have those. I'm like, and I immediately did, the state police is at, they're executing a warrant because I knew it. Like, fuck, I knew they were coming. I told Elijah they were coming. I think I probably even said I should probably go watch that last live stream. And I said to it, that's what they were going to do. They were going to come at 3 a.m, bang down this door and bring guns and not will come here and not listen to shit. And that's what they did. So they came here, grenaded my daughter and son in their sleep. That's a $25 million grenade pin in my eyes. If I was them, I wouldn't settle for any less than that. Because when I go take this to a civil lawsuit, I would not want any less than to whatever. I didn't do it because I don't want the taxpayer to pay it. But if I'm going to take it for the taxpayer, I'm going to figure out how to give it back to the taxpayer. I will. I think Father's handed me the responsibility to do this. All I would do is grow the ministry. I'm done living life. I don't need to, like I said, I actually have had an offer from, somebody that I know in my past to try to see if we can, maybe have some kind of something in the future. But I told me I got to get through I get through my past here to be able to try to have anything in the future. So it's not going to work until, it will, but it's all Father's will. It's not my own. So I don't want to drag anybody down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. OnStar's been out since, I remember there was, when I worked the Olympics torch relay in 2002 for Campbell Ewald, which is the oldest marketing firm in the U.S. That's like, see the USA in a Chevrolet, they're old, not just like a rock, but they had OnStar in those vehicles way back then. You know what I'm saying? They did. I mean, that's not, but that stuff, they just, it's going to be like that Obama movie where all the dusty, rusty dustpans drive themselves back to Elon Musk's house or something like that. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, but like I said, I know my son is exactly where Father wants him to be. It hurts because I know it if he doesn't want to talk to me because he's mad, it's very confusing for my mind to think that's what's really going on here. I just don't see that. I don't see my son that mad at me. If he could have left, if he really wanted to leave, he could have left and turned himself in. He could have, had another option. I actually gave him the option. I took him to a place, where I know we didn't have our phones. We couldn't be heard. Obviously, it's not hard to figure out where that was at, and said, dude, if you want to go, you have to go now. They are going to come tonight, and you have to leave. I don't want to rush you. I've told you I don't, I love you, dude. I'm going to stand by your side in this. I know you did this shit, son. God knows you did this. We have to stand. Remember, we talked about, being there if we both go to jail and the thief on the cross. I know that we talked, okay, well, you're going to have to go now. I mean, they've been here every fucking day, Elijah. Every day for 16 fucking days straight. 7 is the number of completion. There's always a calm before the storm, son. You know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't seem like he's alive, because I know my son's not money motivated, and I know my daughter's not either. They're very humble. She works a 5-day-a-week job and works for not bad money, but they just get by. They're not. This is her grenade pin. Her charges got dropped back in September. They wrongfully convicted her. She has that on her side. She has what I'm trying to obtain here in the next 2 weeks, so I can use this to build the case that I already have, which is epic, just to make sure it's done properly. This is her grenade pin. There should be somebody coming into my door summoning this to court. See what I'm saying? This is hers. This should be summons. I should have somebody coming and saying that is evidence in the civil case against the state police, Lake County, Oregon, whoever she's chose to sue, because they grenaded her in her sleep without a warrant, then arrested her without a warrant. That's kidnapping. She has a massive lawsuit. If she could help out my son, she would, right? He's still on the run or whatever. He went on the run and she went on the run, knowing that they got grenaded. That doesn't make sense. If they were alive, they would be summoning this, and I get a call from an attorney, some civil lawsuit attorney, with a private investigator coming, bringing a warrant or to summons this into a court as evidence, and say we actually want all those, and we are going to find an attorney to represent you too. Now, this all would have been taken care of. Somebody would have contacted me if they would have both filed a civil lawsuit from their attorney. But see how that doesn't give me any kind of evidentiary standpoint that they're still here. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even get the state police to look for them. A lot of the times when somebody's kids go missing or something like that, or something like this happens, and I have a lot of the evidence that points to Marshall and Joseph, whatever in this case, they go looking for them, and they discover there's people who go look, but nobody's ever done it. And I can't even report my son or daughter murdered or missing. I don't want him to be murdered. I'm gonna have to live with that the rest of my life. That I stood in, and because the gold and silver, probably what ended up getting him, if they ever looked into it, that's probably why Marshall I don't know if he's a Fed, I don't know what it is, but got greedy or whatever it was. And that's how, because he told me my son and him got argued the whole way home. And he never said that to me until I could not get the local PD out here who SWAT raided the house with the state police to look for my son. And like I said, they end up turning and filing charges against me for trying to get them to go look for my son. So I can't even report my son or daughter to these counties. It's a menace to my mind knowing that I located where there were bodies where I thought they were, because Marshall said before the SWAT raid days, we're gonna have to look back and see what day it was, probably 2 or 3 days before the SWAT raid, Elijah called Marshall, I think, and he put me on the phone. And he said, man, I can bring, you know, Elijah and Adriana down here to the gold mines, and we can hide them in the gold mines until this shit's taken care of. You know, I've had to deal with this shit, federal shit. I should have known what he was talking about when he said Fed, Marshall Fed, you know, and and he said he could hide him in the gold mines. That's what I reported to Josephine County. I believe they were extorted, and I found out some other information today about an increase in the bond that I didn't know about too, that would have been liable for more money, which would have made, see, Marshall said they had an argument. They argued the whole way home. He never told me anything of the sort. He said that Elijah quit taking his phone calls from the very beginning when I was in jail. Like, what's going on with Elijah? Oh, I don't know. He won't answer my call. It's just going to voicemail. So he acted like he never talked to Elijah or Adriana. And then my daughter's car ends up at his house. And they won't go investigate. And I got arrested at that time. And I'm saying Marshall Radonich, when they arrested me, that was like in May. They arrested me in May. You know, off these bogus charges, took my weapons, harassing police, menacing police. And I'm saying at that time, Marshall Radonich, Mount Creek, go investigate. You know, there's where my son is at. Why would you guys go look at it? And they never did anything, guys. Anything. So what a terrorizing situation, man. What an absolute fucking nightmare to have to get up every day to this nightmare. Knowing that, you know, like I said, I don't want anybody's daughter or son to have to be taken violently or however, it doesn't matter. A loss is a loss. But to not have any idea that why nobody will look for him. Nobody will look for him, not his mom, not his stepdad, not his aunts, not his uncles. And they live such a solitude life, separate life, because he's been doing it. She was doing everything that they needed to do. She went to work 2 days a week after working 5 days. I mean, she was working 7 days a week to fucking try to make sure her husband didn't go to fucking prison. That's why I said when she came here, you're not going anywhere, lady. If your son's going to get, or if my son and your husband's going to be thrown in jail for 7 fucking years, you're going to sleep next to him for the next however long until we get this shit. You know, this is bullshit. You know, and you know it, I know it. You have to work your ass off, you know. But I wish I could just get him looking, somebody to even give a shit about him, but nobody cares about Elijah Werner. Nobody must. I don't think I've never met my stepdaughter or, you know, my daughter, you know, she not, you know, my daughter's family. I don't know them. Why aren't they looking for their daughter? Why their daughter should be kind of, and I don't mean like that, but be living okay without struggle. But they're both suffering. Elijah still has a warrant for his arrest, which means that's still an active warrant, which means he's still out there somewhere missing. And I've been telling him where he's at, and I'm not going to go look for him. And I find my daughter's car at Marshall's house. And I reported all this. So I don't know. This feels like a nightmare. I swear it feels like I'm dead sometimes. How could I be 1 week before court? And I told my attorney, we need to start getting this shit going because I need somebody to look, oh, don't worry about the postponement. I haven't heard from him now in like over a month. Remember, he made me wait a month last time. And then when I told, he didn't even ask, because he's the one who told me to call the state police. And then when I called him, he didn't even, hey, so how did that call go with the state police? Did you get Elijah? Did somebody look at, he didn't even say anything. And then when I brought up Elijah again, he just ignored it. So he won't talk about Elijah. It's so fucking weird. And he has to be at my court. So I don't understand what's going on here. Like I said, it is the closest thing I think you could be to dead. I know that father beat me like I know I must be alive because he took my dog from me, you know, just like, what, a week ago? I don't even know how long it's been now, but that was like the worst thing that, you know, whatever. So, okay, we'll stop beating the dead horse, but all right, whatever. It's getting close. It's getting close. We'll see what happens. You know what? It's 100% in Father's hands, so I'm not trying to change a single thing. There's got to be a someday that comes that I know that I just wish there was somebody else looking for him. Because if I go to jail, I know nobody's going to be looking for him, man. And that shit's fucking whack. My son's not the worst person in the world. He's not the best, but he's not, he's not bad. He's a good dude, actually. He's a really good, he paid for his, and years, 4 years almost something. He got in trouble for something that, breaking in a bunch of empty fucking vacant trailers have been left out here rotting into the desert, being kids, teenagers, and got caught, breaking into vacated for years, left out here, abandoned. Most of these, I think it was only one building that they were in that was actually had much in it. And there was nobody living in it, as far as I know, in any of the houses. There were maybe the one, but they weren't there. There was no victims. There was no person on person. It was, kids, fucking teenagers, man. And now he's 26 years old. Holy shit. My son was like 20 years old when he got in trouble. He's 26. He just turned 26 on the 4th. 26. I've been dealing with this shit for 6 years with this case, man, with him. Father ain't never gonna let me up, man. This started right at the COVID, guys. He got in trouble during the COVID. And I was trying to get all that shit taken care of before all that happened, so. Oh my God. I'm never going to wake up from this nightmare, am I? Oh, this is fucking purgatory. That's why I should have never got baptized Catholic in water, huh? That's what you get for being baptized Catholic. That's what you get for running the Olympic torch, you fucking Satanist pig. Oh. Yeah, they don't care. They're just savages. They don't care. I know. I used to be a pig. That's what I'm saying. I hate that I was a cop. I hate the fucking law enforcement experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fucking kid, man. There's a 17-year-old involved in this case. 17, 19. One was 19, just turned 20. They were fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the stupidest thing ever, too. It really is, Los. I mean, that's the stupidest thing, fucking Los. It's stupid. A fucking plant that grows about the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. The government's the biggest fucking drug dealer on this rock. So, and I'm not afraid to say it. Remember, who kills more people than government? Religion. So, keep that shit away from me, please. I don't want none of that. Good thing I know Father's doing it, and he says we must endure to the end to be saved. So I got to hang in there until it's over, no matter how brutal he makes it. How much I appreciate you guys being a witness. It doesn't even seem fathomable. Like I said, you guys make me sometimes that makes me feel alive, man. Sometimes when I'm drinking Berkey water or I eat red meat, I feel alive. But otherwise, I don't feel like I'm very much alive anymore. Coming here, it gives me breath. I feel like he gives me life, but I know that others that are here, it seems an impossibility. I'm 1 week away from trial, and I made such a big stink about looking for my son, and it never even amounted to anything. And so here I'm going to be. Monday is going to be 1 week from my pretrial. And is the attorney going to call me next week? Because he won't have any more time to call me, have any more time to get prepared. He'll have the week. Was he going to call me the week of the trial? All right, hey, we got to get ready for trial. They decided to go to trial or something. What the fuck ever, dude. Dude. Whatever, dude. That's fucking stupid. If he'd hit something like that, pulled off some shit like that, I don't think I could deal with it. Where the fuck is my son at? Is the first thing I'm going to say. Where is my son? I've asked you 5 fucking times to talk about my son. You won't talk about my son. It's whatever, man. I hope that doesn't happen that way, because I'm a straight up guy. I don't run from shit. I don't run from anything. I don't care who it is, where it is, who it is on this rock. You're just a fucking man like me. You put your goddamn pant legs one leg at a time. Man, woman, I don't give a fuck. Same thing. One race, the human race. Period. No mixing. I'm not saying that, but I would straight up tell it to the judge, attorney, you know, whatever I do, I told the judge, you're all going to prison. Everyone in this courtroom is going to prison one day, coming after all of you because you guys are criminal. What you're doing in this courtroom is not even legal, nor is it lawful, you know. So, but hey, like I said, I'm gonna try to locate my daughter first. Is what I'm gonna try to do. You know, I think I can probably locate her because Elijah just doesn't have any friends and stuff like that. So I think that's the first thing I'm gonna do if the case gets dropped. Is I'm not just gonna leave. I want to leave, but I have to at least make some attempt to try to locate why Adriana has not been filed this lawsuit. And if she doesn't know, she needs to file it immediately. And I'll get the grenade pin to whoever it needs to be. And then I want to get, you know, I'm going to file an immediate call to Josephine County to have them go locate fucking Marshall and do that call for service, like I told you. And so I don't think I'll be here anymore in a few days. And after that, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere, somewhere, you know, vacation time. Where that is, I don't know. Where I just will probably head south because I'd like to be. Um, hey, I got fucking firewood today. I can't sell anything on the internet, so I had to sell something off the internet. And the last thing that I wanted to sell, I sold, and I didn't really sell it. I did more trading for another vehicle, some precious metals, not very much, and uh, yeah, there's no real justice in this case. It's not anything. There really isn't in this case. Shows nothing, but that's okay. If I can walk away from this without a record, continue. Adriana doesn't have a record. The only person that got more charges was Elijah. He really isn't facing that much more because I think he can beat the fucking the felony looting. I really do. I don't think they can get him because they didn't pursue. And we already have all his. So this could still be a wash for Elijah. I haven't really even thought about it that way because I told him I don't give a fucking what. Throw me in jail. I ain't fucking stopping until you drop my case and my son's charges. But nobody will listen to me about Elijah. Like I said, it's like a fucking purgatory. Like I said, it's like I'm dead, you know. So, but hey, at least he'll know that if he ever gets to be a witness that Dad went down swinging, you know, not with his guns or hands or knives or swinging, but just in here every day trying to get somebody to hear me, get somebody to hear this so that if and when I go to court and something happens, that somebody will continue to look for him. And if that's not what Father does, and it just the case goes cold, then the case goes cold. His body just sits there and rots. And Adriana's body just sits there and rots, and his mom don't give a fuck, and his stepdad and his uncles and his aunts and his grandpa, grandma, and papa, none of his family care, none of her family, then they're just gonna sit there and fucking rot. And that's what God wants. They're already fucking dead, so who fucking cares? They're not suffering. Awesome. I hate the fact to think that they're not here, but you know what? I don't want them to be here to see this world. I don't know how the fuck they're making it. They were gonna move here finally, and we were gonna build them a house. They could get independent. Stop paying $1,700 a month, plus trash, plus this, plus that. That's a lot of fucking money. He had to work hard to make it with her. They worked at a nice place, 2-bedroom house, like a duplex or something, you know, but really, you know, big garage and, you know, but clean and quiet and ugly because it was new, but it was nice, you know. But they worked hard for what they had and quiet and worked hard for years together as a couple. And I respect both of them for as hard as they work, you know. Uh, um, so what a crazy, 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 crazy life that Father has for me for the next life. I have to live with this for the rest of my life. You know, I have to live with it. I may be a big part of why I didn't take the precious metals like my son told me and go take the vacation, go get out of here, go on the road, take the ministry on the road like I wanted to do. I told him when he turned 18, I was going on the road. I was going to let the wind blow me. They'll put the wind in my sail, and he'd be that wind, and I wouldn't worry. A bird not worries what it's going to eat in the field. I would, I'd be able to provide it. He'd put a roof over my head every day, and as long as I used my hands and my skill set, somebody would pay me by labor. I could labor and share the gospel throughout any time that I wasn't laboring, and that would become my life. And I didn't do it. And when I had the um, opportunity to do it, and he told me to do it, I didn't listen to him. So I think when I have that opening and it comes again, I need to do it for him. I think he'd want me to do it. And if he's gone, well, I'm going to kind of do it in his memory, I guess. We're supposed to edify and lift his memory up. So I'll get to the bottom of it maybe someday, and I might not ever know what happened to my son and daughter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't have to worry about no spelling police in here. So, um, but appreciate you guys being a witness, because this is a tough time. I mean, I'm getting down to the wire and I'm getting a little nervous, but I'm all right. I just, maybe if I had more contact from the attorney, and he'd been contacting me for the last couple months talking about the case and how this is going to work and how it's going to go down. And all I've heard is he said he can beat the case. So I gotta just put my confidence in Father more than anything, faith, and then no matter what happens to me, I'm prepared for both. You know what I'm saying? I'm prepared for both. I'm prepared to go to jail or not go to jail. See, that way I didn't make any plans, because if I do, he'll wreck them. So it's 100% in his hands. See, I'm glad I know that. I'm glad I can live with that. I'm glad that it keeps me settled so I don't get nervous and depressed, and I miss my dog and don't like what he's doing to me, and I miss my son and I miss my daughter, but I know it all has a purpose. I was talking with somebody about this. It'll all equate. He knows what he's doing. Our timing is off most of the time, and his timing is perfect. So he knows exactly what he's doing. Our day of death's already written. Nobody's going to run away from their day of death. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, we do. We are our own worst enemy. Remember, it says in the book of Matthew, a man's enemies to be the one of his own household. That's mostly us, where one puts the legs on the faith and one doesn't. So we're those that put our legs on that faith. We're going to run through a lot of doom and gloom, and it's going to be real, not like this fake end of the world nonsense. It's hard life. It's a hard knocks. Every step comes with a challenge. It's not some gravity bullshit nonsense at your back where every step leads you down to the pit, where it's easy peasy. Every day we suffer, we take up and crucify and separate in prison, and God does that to us because he loves us. He beats the people he loves. He beats the earth out of us. He beats the world. And so he sees if we love the world, it Matthew 10:34-39, read it till it's just stuck. It's already written on your heart, but he tells us that once a man says to be one of his own household, I come to separate a mother from her daughter, a son from his father, a mother-in-law against her father-in-law. A man says to be one of his own household. I do not come to bring peace, but I come to bring a sword of division. I divide. We are our own worst enemy. He who loves the son more than me is not worthy of me. He who loves the daughter, the father, anything in this world more than me is not worthy of me. He who is not willing to give his life for my Shem, for my name, for following and doing I did, sake, that is the promise of the abyss, no knowledge, that we be stripped of anything, and he is knowledge, he is the word. It's the, without Father, no knowledge. You're going to be without, going to be gnashing teeth, right? So, and he who loves, like I said, their life more than me, and he who is willing to give their life for my Shem's sake is the promise of eternity would be with me. So eternity. And that eternity is something we're already in. We're all eternal beings, but it matters where you go after your death, when that final shofar, the last trump sounds. It's really important. The scripture means more to me than anything. So I hope my son holds on to it. I know he loves the word, and he shared it with me so much that I'm so been given so much of abundance. And I reminded him before even the SWAT raid that we might both go to jail, might not ever see each other again, but we just need to know that Father has us girded in his service, and we need to be like the thief on the cross. And remember, he takes whoever he wants, whenever he wants. It's not, it's not for us to decide. Um, and I reminded him that's actually the last things that I said to my son. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand the last trump. The last trump is the great and dreadful day of the Lord. It's judgments. It is the last shofar seal. There's 7 seals, 7 scrolls. The skies will roll back like the judgment. The 7 in Revelation, the book of Revelation. It talks about the dead will be raised from the ashes and the dust. That's the wedding feast of the Lamb. That's the whole thing. That's that moment in time where everybody at one time receives judgment. There's nobody dies and go to the sky. Heaven's not above your head. Nobody can make it any clearer to you. It's called the ram's horn, the shofar. The rams they blow in Israel. Ricola. No, just cough drops. I'm just kidding. That's not funny. But they would blow the ram's shofar. That's the trump or the trumpets, right? Like blow on the horn. Look at that. Pastor's even got a trumpet. Yes, it's all there. It's all there. So, Chronos. Anyways, moving on. So that shofar is that ram's horn that they would blow, that we call a trumpet, or it makes that trump sound. If you ever listen to shofar, they would blow the shofar, and it has a very trumpety sounding, because it's a horn, like the horn, like the trombone or the cello or the flute or here, listen here, Peter Pan. You can take your little flute, stick it in somebody else's American Pie, all right? All right, moving on. So, anyways, the final trump is when the dead are raised. That's the wedding feast of the lambs. That's the Lamb's Supper. That is judgments. He said he put 1 foot on the land, 1 foot on the sea, right? He says you'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye. So there's no getting out of here, no rapture. There's no, we all have to go through tribulation. At the last trump, it says shofar. It doesn't say trump. It says at the final shofar, at the 7th shofar, the last shofar, the last trump. So, the last trump isn't a judgment. It's not an agreement. What? No, that's exactly what it is. You can't argue with that. So that's what it is. It's judgments for everybody who's ever been lived on this rock. Nobody dies and goes to the sky. Nobody dies and goes to the ground, goes to hell. That's not what hell is. This rock could be millions of years old, and nobody has been judged. There's no judgments. At the great and dreadful day of the Lord, that's where the wedding feast of the lambs, the final trump, the dead raise, and all pass through the book of judgments. Many are called, all pass through the book of judgments. Few are chosen, go to the wedding feast of the lambs, where their names are called out in the book of life. There is the book of remembrance. Never forget about the book of remembrance. You'll have to study that on your own. So there's 3 books, but all will pass through the book of judgments. You don't die and go to the sky. Nobody's dead in the sky. Heaven's not above your head. The kingdom of heaven is within. Paul said we must go through much to ellipsis. It's called the king. He called it the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God. Kingdom of God. And it is within. Right? Circumcise the outer man, the laws of the flesh, the inner man. Paul spoke of the Christ, the inside, the Hamashiach that can't sin. He's like Father, blameless, without blemish. He does everything perfect. He exists without darkness. He can't sin. Remember, the unblemished sacrificial lamb, even his prophecy of the last prophet, the last prophecy, to fulfill, not a broken bone in his body. When they came to break his legs, he had already passed. So he fulfilled the prophecy. And, so when that final shofar happens, all flesh raised, thousands of years worth of bodies, thousands of years. I don't care, Cro-Magnon, whatever, all will pass through the book of judgments. Doesn't matter if you have a denomination, what you think of belief in God or not, all will pass through the book. It's at one time. It says you'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye at the last trump. So that is the wedding feast of the Lambs, the Lamb's Supper, where he calls out the names. Remember, so there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. Heaven and earth shall perish, right? Be a new heaven and new earth. You get a new body, and the new body is not flesh. To be with Father. Father doesn't have flesh. He took the flesh to be with Father, right? He said he would tarry. Well, he said he would return, right? He would go to his Father's house and prepare that place. It's been over 2,600 years, and he's still preparing that place today, and he's not done yet preparing. So he will come back and receive his bride at the wedding feast of the Lambs, which is the final trump. 1 foot on the land, 1 foot on the sea, and it says you'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye. Time will be no more at the last trump. So that's it. Then the new heaven and new earth. So that's a whole new, that we all pass through by fire judgments. Remember? Not by water. Last time by water, 6,000 years past, 6,000 plus years in the future. This time it's by fire. So he's going to use the compression event with the sun, just like he did during Sodom, to rock everybody's world from the bottom chasms of this rock to the top of the firmament, right? Waters above, like electric. All going to get electrified. We're going to go back to just like it was at the Garden of Eden. Well, at the reset, we'll just put it that way, okay? There'll be columns to the top of the firmament again, and we'll go back to that very primitive lifestyle. None of this tech will be here anymore. It'll all go back to a nature setting. So it's going to be amazing, and we won't need bodies then in that body. You won't. You'll see. Whatever. I read Revelation often, and I've gone through it and fine-tune code through these other passages, but I don't let Enoch or Jasher or any of these sway my understanding of what the gospel is about. The gospel is this afterlife with Father. Remember, I'm going to prepare that house. It's a place, it's a mansion, a place of many mansions. It's a room for his bride. And that's what he has prepared, the bridegroom. And this is all about a wedding. So don't fall for none of this nonsense with the worldly, religious hogwash. Pig shit is what it is. Just a bunch of nonsense. So if you want to have your name called out in that book of life, you need to be standing up to the law, religion, right? Perversion, and people who push people who are down and out down. We're supposed to be there for all. Remember, broad is the way. Show them to the narrow way. That's right. Show them to the light. Agape thy neighbor like thy enemy, like thyself. So do unto others as these are the basic rules of the laws of the land, brothers. This has been here since the beginning, and it will always be here. So people have forgotten how this works while you're here, because you get too caught up in the fleshy things, and that's okay. Guilty. Been there, done that. Look at all the crap I got going in my life, but I always give praise to Father, always edify and lift him up in my life. And I'm going to do this until they throw me in the dirt. Doesn't matter. So, yep, that's what it is. It's the unchanged. You can't change anything added to the gospel is the other gospel that Paul spoke of. Remember, he said they will come teaching another gospel that I did not. That I'm not talking about that, change, that he had the gospel. He knew it. His heart was rebuked at the road to Damascus. And he went out, and remember, he was a Pharisee and a murderer. He murdered Christians for a living for the church. His heart was rebuked. But then he went out and shared the gospel in the church, because he could go into the church. He had the guard to get into the churches. He could go in there. He had the right attire, and imagine going into the synagogues and preaching the gospel. Freaking rights, boys. That's why we do it here. Not here. We hope that this is in a synagogue, but whatever. The world is a synagogue. How about that? It's a world synagogue, man. It is. Synagogues of Satan. Everybody's worshiping ball gods and thinking dead people go to the sky, and worshiping, dead We're supposed to celebrate death and not mourn, and they celebrate birth, and we're not supposed to celebrate birth. See, they got it backwards. They celebrate birth and they mourn death. It's supposed to be the other way around. We're not actually supposed to celebrate anything. That's Ecclesiastes 7:1. But read the scriptures. Um, Paul's writings are pretty important part of the gospel. Obviously, they're not. There is no gospel without Paul's writings. It has to be complete. So, the 13th apostle Paul. Thank you, Father, for rebuking his heart and making him go. Remember, he went out, told him to go to preach to the Gentile nations. So, um, this covenant that we're under is a meek, not weak, and that's why Father sent his Son, is because they perverted his law, and he made this covenant with his bride that if they go out and share this, that not by celebration or fee or fine or ritual or wealth or covetousness, you're not going to get to Father, only by faith. But you have to put legs on your faith. Faith without works is dead. He said, have your loins girded in my service. So you have to believe. Maranatha, believe is not like believe in a God or believe in a religion. Believe is an action word. It's a verb. So you have to be girded in. He says, have your lamps trimmed, but be burning bright until I return. So that brightness is you put him at the top of your house and you let him shine. That's what he said. Do not hide that light in a basket. Do not boast because but woe if you don't go let that shine, let that light, let me speak for you. Share the gospel. Don't try to change it. Share the gospel. They'll come teaching another gospel and preaching another Jesus. That's what he said. Another Jesus and another gospel. And that's what we are today. Christ himself said many Christ, many Jesus will come in my name, in my Shem, and they will be deceived. So these are his words. That's the gospel, baby. All Christ's words are the gospel. You know what I'm saying? Everything he said is the gospel. But through Paul's writings, through Peter, Matthew, Mark, Luke, through all the apostles, their sufferings, their trials, their phileo, we have that as our gospel today to show us he is the way. Remember, Hados, I am the narrow way. The only way to the Father is through Christ, the Hamashiach, through suffering, through tribulation, long suffering. He said to be refined as silver and gold. So that means you need to be put through a hot press for a long time before you can ever burn off any impurities. So you think this is some kind of sit down, some little cracker, one day, Sunday, fun day, pagan transgender Jesus, Baphomet, Bell, birthed in the middle of the winter, Jesus Christ in a manger? No. That's religion. That's what he warned of all these. Yep. Remember Jeremiah, in the book of Jeremiah 10, don't you read it? Oh, heareth what the Lord say, Israel. He's only talking to his bride. Oh, be not dismayed at the ways of do not learn the ways of the heathens, and be not dismayed at the signs of the firmament, for the heathens are dismayed at them. Don't be a heathen, don't be a pagan, for their customs. Remember, they thought this was a goddess of heaven spinning the Big Dipper around the North Star, the pole star, right? And they prayed to Saturn to try to slow the sun because they thought the sun was dying at the equinox. And he said, do not be dismayed. Do not pray, do not learn their customs, their celebrations, their worships. It is vain. That means worthless. Yet people still do it today. Baphomet worship, sun and tree, Baal, tree worship. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They bring it home. They deck it, right? With silver and gold. Deck the halls with, tinsel, right? And they stand it up, right? And fasten it with nails and hammers so it stands upright, erect like the palm tree. That's the rebirth of Nimrod's cock, you idiots. That's the steeple at the top of the church. That's the Washington Monument. That's the phallic in front of the, that's your monolith. The one in front of the Vatican, same dicks. That's the Nimrod, the mighty hunter, Cupid, February, Lupercalia, a pagan celebration. Christmas, Christomasse. Masse is the eating of flesh. That's the Saturnalia. Remember, they thought the sun was dying. They prayed to Saturn at the Yule wheel, the feast of the Yule. We used to feast on a man and eat an orgy. man with man on man, man on beast, beast on woman, beast on, it was an orgy called Christmas. That's what it is. The Masse, the eating of human flesh. Remember, they had a lottery for a man. They lotteried him off. They're like, all right, man, you're going to get to eat all the finest cheeses and veals and sleep with all the finest sheep and men and women and drink of all the finest meads and caviar. And at the end, we're going to eat you. Oh, sign me up, man. I'll find a lottery ticket for that. And then Rome, remember, the king of the Yule wheel, right? The king of the Saturnalia. This is celebrated for thousands. This is a Roman pagan orgy called Christo Masse, Christ Mass, or the Feast of Saturn, or the Sacrament of the Mass. It's the same festival. You know what I'm saying? So, so isn't it kind of ironic? You know, they celebrate the New Year's in the middle of the winter. They celebrate the sun god, Jesus Christ, for one cut at the tree out of the forest, their Nimrod, sun god, Cupid. Moloch, Esau killed his brother Moloch. Krampus, throw your kids in the fire, eat your kids. People want to know where this pedophilia comes from, huh? Gee, I wonder. I'll make you see why Stevie had to wonder. So, all right, let me check my fire here. All right, we got some firewood. Finally got some firewood out here in the desert. Flipping rights, man. We got some more coming tomorrow. Sold the flatbed. Didn't want to sell the diesel flatbed, but we got her done. Oh well, Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care. I sold it to some good young men. They'll use it, and I'll be able to still have access to it because the guy actually who got it, it's just right down the road, only about 5 miles from here, right on the end of the road. It's really kind of almost the same road. So, not on the same road, but I own property on the same road. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go out and check on my birds real quick. Where's my light? Oh, let's eat one of that. Get some pear. We're good. Give it that. Eating a pear here. Well, it's nice and ripe. Oh boy, that's juicy. Hold on there. Get it out. We got notifications. What we got going here? Breaking news, Russia's 15 miles off our coast. Yep, they do that often. That's a juicy pear. Thank you, bother. I need to eat more fruit. Eat a lot of meat. Eat a lot of eggs. We got 4 eggs today. Probably get 3 tomorrow, 5 the next day. They seem to be kind of going in a sequence now here, kind of. It's awesome. They're laying in November. Thank you for the father to be able to raise your own eggs, man. Own birds. Eggs are a superfood. Eggs are a superfood, man. Oh, wow. It's a freaking juicy pear. She's a Lakin. She's a Laker. We'll save that. We'll give that to the chickens. And give that to the chickens. Well, I made volcano chicken for dinner because I got those organic chicken breasts there, so I was kind of mad that I bought store-bought chicken, so I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna try to make that put a bad taste in my mouth because I do like chicken, but you know, I just don't eat it very often. And anyways, I made some volcano chicken with that jalapeno rice, and it's fire. Turned out really good. I still have some of that little bottle that lady in red had got me of some sriracha, sweet sriracha, so I threw some of that in it with it too, you know what I'm saying? So I barbecued the living crap out of that, you know what I'm saying? That chicken breast, and then so caramelized it with that sweet Thai chili. So volcano chicken and that jasmine rice with the jalapeno, you know, put a little butter, just a little bit of butter, and most of I cook off that jalapeno, you know, let all the oils come out in the jalapeno, and then cook the rice in the oils, the jalapeno juice, and the normally it comes out really good. It's not sticky. It's separates. You know, it's. Why do you keep trying to put your paws on me? You trying to Dad say hi to you? Come over here with Dad. Why don't you come over to that side? Come over here with Dad. Come be with the Dad. Come be with the Dad. The best boy I ever did have. Oh, my guy, my puppy boy that I big. This is my biggest guy that I ever did big. That I big him, guy. Oh, you were such a good boy today. You were a good boy today. I apologize. Had to go to town for a little bit. Had to go pay the land payments. You want a place to live? Then we got to pay the land payments. I got wood stoves in the back of the car. I got to get them out of there. That one wood stove's way over 400 pounds. That's going to be a bug to get that thing out by myself. So I'll do it. 400 pounds is not going to be easy to move. That's a heavy stove. The smaller one weighs almost twice as much as that big stove. The big stove's not that much bigger than it, but damn, that little stove is a heavy stove. I think they're both not arrow, but I'm looking at the arrow on mine, so I'm not going to be able to figure it out now. Darn it! Avalon stoves, so they're pretty expensive. You know, they're triple burner, so I'm trying to make sure I just horse them out of there and drop them. They have this stove here. This I've seen this arrow go for the one I have. This particular model go for. I mean, it's sold new for thousands of dollars, but I have newer stoves. These I like this model here, but like I said, I picked these up the other day when I was in town. But I'm trying to turn something here, trying to make a buck here when I can. And if not, then I bought them to put them in the cabins because I'm always going to do you know, it's for the ministry. I got them for the ministry, so I would never own anything that nice. They're too fancy for me. I don't like that fancy stuff. I like older stuff. I really like these arrow stoves a lot, and they're made in Oregon. So these wood stoves are a couple $1,000 stoves. You know, for a good arrow stove, you're looking at probably a. Are you just? Can you get any closer to Dad? You need to be closer to Dad. I don't think you can get any closer. You are pressing on me. This freaking dog. I love him. I love him. We're do this, puppy boy. He's such a good guy. You're such a good guy today. I know you just need more lovins, huh? Just need some more lovins. So, but yeah, I'll keep them for the cabins because I have 2 stoves and I have another arrow, but you know, I'm not making plans. I'm just going to prepare like I normally do, and I want to take the cabin rentals and move them over to the other property off Bowens. It's not that I wouldn't rent these ones out over here. If they're the right renters and stuff, I still don't think I'd have an issue. But you know, it just kind of frees these up that way, even more to have them, you know, be maybe even be a dwelling. Like I said, if somebody moves out here, I want to have, you know, there's dwellings out here. It's for the ministry and not to rent out. Nobody will come out here. I'm going to use them as cabin rentals, right? So that was that. You know, so I got to be fluid in my game here, if you will. So. Like that 8-ball, remember? Nah, this ain't luck. I'm just kidding. Fluid in the game, get it? Only pastor come up with some silly nonsense like that, huh? So, but anyways, I'll stay like fluid and be bendable here, be more flexible, be like the willow tree, and not be, you know, oh, I know when it's going to happen. So whatever happens, but I'd like to move it over there. It's a beautiful property. It's got better access. The roads are perfect. It is the property. It was a business property. I should be using that as the business and this as, and it gives some remoteness too. Cause I notice when I'm hip camping people here, there's just too much stuff here now. And I brought him back over here. Kevin says I can have over there, but I don't want him over there on Kevin's property. That's his property. He bought it for me. That's his. I don't need to do hip campers on his property. He's his property. So, but I'm moving him over here and I try to set him up, and I haven't been getting, nobody's even left me any reviews. And I just think it's too, the whole idea of hip camp is to be remote camping. So there's enough property over there that I can put stalls out there and just let people pull in and make, you know, stalls where you can pull in and out with a camper and put a, you know, wall somewhere up on it, a shade wall or whatever, a fire pit, an outdoor kitchen in on something. You know, I'll start throwing amenities at it, especially next, you know, year. And I'd like to have them all have an outdoor, you know, kitchen they can cook in out, you know, outdoors or whatever, and be outside and enjoy the view. But that's 20 acres. It's a big long strip and it's got beautiful roads. So I could put probably 4 or 5 different good spots along there and not have anybody even really see each other. They'll have good access to roads, and it's the best property I own. I wish I could take the ministry and move it over there. I really do. I love where I'm at, but it's only 3 miles from here. I can almost see where it's at from here. I mean, it's where, there's a big hill over here. There's not, I can't see it. There's, but it's not that far. And so we'll see. Like I said, I ain't making no plans, but if I come back, I want to start throwing that to keep the ministry open here too. That way we can, keep my business over there. Don't be dipping your ink in the company well, right? Not supposed to be dating people that you work with. That normally don't work out for either on your job, right? When are you going to break up and then bring it to work, or be fighting, bring it to work, or right? You don't dip your ink in the company well. So you don't mix business with pleasure. That's how it works. I was raised that way. Like I said, one of my exes that I know, I met her, and she gave me her number or something, and I didn't. She took her a while to pursue me. I mean, she really had to go out of her way to pursue me. She's definitely, but she gave me her number that day, but I just wrote it down as blonde, or something like that, blonde, and can't remember, or whatever, in the town she was in, right? And that's it. I didn't even, nothing stood out about her or anything like that, or whatever. So but when I'm focused on, when I was in law enforcement, they used to call me RoboCop. I don't care. I'm doing my job. So when I'm focused, and I get that, mindset, I don't mix business with pleasure. You can't be throwing, you don't hear it. So she's got years later, we ended up dating or whatever. I invited her, just come hang out for a little while as a friend or whatever, and get her out of that little town or whatever little circle she was in. And she'd found the thing that's oh, that's the thing, blonde. Oh yeah, she's from Twin, blonde and Twin, and that's all you thought about me. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I was trying to talk to you, and when you were just, you weren't really talking to me. You're talking to my uncle. Yeah, your uncle's the one that had the checkbook. I was trying to sell food there. I wasn't caring about you. You weren't trying to buy any food. You don't think that happens? I go to lots of houses and people try to talk to me. I don't care what the hell you say to me. I'm business oriented. So, little funny story there. It's kind of funny. Just years later, she found that. Was like, that's all you thought about me? Yeah, when I'm working, I don't see nothing like that at home. Get down, take your clothes off. I'm like, whatever. You gonna pay for that? Oh, cool. You must be in your other pocket. I don't know what you take it. I'm out of here. I don't know. She get me fired. Somebody saying something. But anyways, that's kind of how I work here. So we'll see. We'll keep the business side over there, and the ministry side over here is what I'm thinking. And they're real nice because they're right up the road. And then if we can keep the 5-acre parcel and I'll sell it because something happens, then we got a beautiful parcel for people right on the highway. So it's another great spot. And I always, look at me still having this field of dreams bullshit, whatever. And whatever, it's for the ministry. I don't feel like, I'm going to do this to get rich. No, I'm not doing it. It's just to help fund the ministry. So would you stop being such a little magnet? Would you stop being such a little magnet? You stop being such a little magnet. You're the magnetic puppy. All of a sudden, getting stuck to there. Just come leaning on me. So, but I kind of like the idea of what it is because they're real close. Both those properties are exactly 8 miles from town, and you are just being silly boy. You're being silly boy. I'm gonna give you a kiss if you don't stop it. Got one from you. See, I stole a kiss from him. So he always does that to me. Dad got a kiss this time. Where do you think he learned it from? Yeah, he's a good boy today. So, but no, the properties are laid out in a good, the way they are to be accessible. You're such a good guy. You're such a good guy that I love. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to take him down to visit the neighbor's dogs. I think he needs some puppy interaction. Kevin's been gone here, taking care of some stuff, doing some things he needs to take care of, and so he has been missing some puppy interaction. So the neighbor's got 3 or 4 or 5 dogs. I think I'm gonna maybe take him over next day or two or something. Take him to go hang out and get some puppy time. He needs some more puppy interaction. Just hanging with Dad's not doing it. The kitties out there, they like him and they follow him around too. And the kitties love you. The kitties love the puppet mode. The kitty sure loves you. They love Taco so much, Bo. So he don't quite know how to handle it. He didn't deal with them the same, but he's starting to get it. That the kitties love him a lot, and they do. They love him a lot. The freaking Pander still is like, where is the other dog? you know what I'm saying? Serious Pander isn't figuring it out, man. It's so hard to see that cat. He's kind of a little lost. Him and Tug were buddies. I forgot about that too, man. How much those two were buddies. Those two were freaking buddies, guys. Oh yeah, I told you he got in such a routine, waiting at the door here in the morning when I'd let him out. He'd go down and Tango, he'd say hi to him, and then he'd let Tango pee. He wouldn't get under his thing, so he'd get peed on. And where would Tango go pee? The cat go pee right next to him like he's a dog, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no pets. They love both. Both these dogs love cats, but Tog was mad cat lover. That dog loved cats more than any dog I've ever. He loved, and the cats loved him too. Like I said, especially Panner, because he would go pee after him, and they were out there playing, and he would, really good dog, so he started to pick it up a little bit, because they come over to him, and they would before, but Panner's trying to kind of do what he was doing with Tang, but with Big, but it's not the same, because Tang would kind of sit there and interact with him a little bit, and Pants did look down, but those cats go chasing the dogs across the. Remember seeing on the videos and stuff, the cats go chasing. Remember they chase him a lot, and play with each other and interact with each other. So Banner boy, he's having a little bit of an issue too. Like, where is the big one? And I know he's not a dog, and he's not. I think the cats are very smart too, but I don't know if they have that quite. He thinks I don't know if he knows he's gone. I think Pants knows he's gone. I don't think Pander's figure out. He's like, where'd the big one go? Because he really liked him a lot. They interacted, 75% more than him. You know what I'm saying? Pander did with Big, with Doggy. So my poor kitty today. I was out there playing with him, and I can tell he come back up, and when I come out, he's still like, where's the big one at? So I'm sure he'll figure it out sooner or later, but I think he still thinks he's somewhere here around on this property, and must still smell him or something, but I can tell, but his whole routine is off too. These poor animals, man. I forget how much of a routine that I have them in here, because I'm out at the farm, and I'm kind of I lead a very solitude life. You know what I'm saying? I don't really hardly ever go anywhere or do much, so I just work on the property. So I've been here and lived here for 10 years, never been to the sand dunes that are here. Never once have I been to the sand dunes. You can see them if you go way down this road here from in the distance, or way out there in the distance, you can see them. But I've never been to the sand dunes. Been here, never been to Lost Forest, never been to Fort Rock, drive to Fort Rock's right there. One of the most beautiful. Never actually stopped. I worked in Fort Rock, but I'm always working here. I have my routine, or whatever, not routine, but my duties of being a landowner and a farmer and trying to build a homestead and have people come out here and trying to not make it enticing, but just and do what I do. And so they kind of got into their thing out here, what we do out here. So my poor Titty, he just is not quite figured out that his big brother is not here anymore. And he's still looking for him. So he's such an amazing cat too. It's kind of taken a little bit away from him, not, but yeah, so that's hard. That's why I've been trying to break it up with Pant. He goes with me a lot, what I'm saying? Um, Now I'm taking it with me, and it's so weird because he was so quiet, and Tango was the whiny one. He was always so whiny. He just liked to talk. He won't shut up anymore. Anywhere we go, anywhere, he's just anxious. Never seen him so anxious ever. He is so anxious. What I'm saying? Kind of like Tango. He's get excited. His routine's off, so he just whimpers a lot. I'm like, man. I thought Tango was bad, but whatever. I'm sure he'll get over that too. But he just, he just used to having that other. So I think it's his instincts hitting, But, cows are being loud. You hear that? Must have pissed one off there. But all right, let's wrap this one up, guys. I don't want to try to get through another day here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I got some firewood. I got rid of the flatbed, so I didn't want to, but I got to do something, man. Like I said, I had land taxes to pay, and I didn't have all the funds from the taxes that I needed. I had some of it, but I didn't have all of it. So, but I got them all paid up today. So all the land on all the 45 acres is paid. And I got firewood, and I got another vehicle, another little 2-wheel drive Scion, I think it is, or something like that. Little 5-speed. I don't know. I'm just gonna flip it. I couldn't sell it on the internet. I had to sell it, so it was on the internet. Didn't sell. That's not the way I sold it. But I'm hoping to trade this little car. In my brain, I needed to close the deal. They said they could have gotten, more for the car and paid me cash, but like I wanted to do it that night, get it done, give him the title, give him the keys, and it worked out. That's fine, because I didn't really want to flip a car. And he thought he could go. He had to drive, 4 or 5 hours away to deliver the car back. And his buddy said he'd help. I'm like, let's take the damn car. You get somebody to come out here. So I ended up taking the car. I mean, I don't know what it's worth. I think I got probably about what I paid for it, whatever I'll get it out of it. So I think what I'm going to try to do, or at least make the attempt, is to trade it for a solar generator. One of those higher end solar generators. Because I think I want that for I could do the same thing with batteries and a power inverter and do it inside of the Forerunner and make a system, that's permanent. But those little Jackery, now they have the full size type, systems. I want to try to get a battery bank, a power mobile power station. They got different names for the same thing. I think I'm talking about the same thing. I got a splinter right there in my pinky. But I think that'll be good trade. So maybe somebody will trade. It's a little more than I want to spend, but whatever. I'm going to just trade out. I got 5 cores of firewood, that car, and some cash. and a little bit of silver. I found out they gave me some silver jewelry, and the couple pieces I tested, they weren't silver, but that's all right. I don't care. He wasn't sure on what was silver and what wasn't silver, but either way though, they'll take good care of it. They'll use it, and they'll get a lot of wood out of the woods. So I could probably get them to deliver me. I think I might be able to get somebody to trade that. You know, honey, we're not using that. We can use that right now. It's a good car on gas, little, 5-speed. I'll clean it up. It doesn't look like, I don't think it's been wrecked. It's got a clean title. And maybe I could get somebody to trade me for one of those little power stations, like I said, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 watts or something like that. Or if I wanted to, like I said, it's kind of a nice thing to have on the road for camping, to have a light at night, make sure I got plenty of light. And, if I wanted to probably run a little heater, charge my phone, it's just, there's a bunch of little things I think. I don't really use electronics much, but dang, man. I got a splinter right there in the freaking fold of my pinky there. I'm gonna have to get out the needle, I think, here. I don't think the fingernail is working. But maybe somebody will trade me, because I think the car is worth about $2,000, maybe $2,000. See if I can. Hey, what's going on? No work, damn it. Hey, now. Work. I need to see that. No! Why is it not working now? It's working the whole time. It just stopped working. Are you serious? Oh, all right, come on now. Oh. It's because it got too much light. One second here. This thing's still light. But I got 2 cords today, so I got 3 more cords coming. So that'll be good. If I have to stay here or whatever. And again, to me, like I told these, young men that firewood is like money. It really is. Because it just gets, firewood's just going to get more and more expensive. Come on, where's that safety pin? Oh, come on now. No way. Whatever had a... Yeah, get out of here. It was right there. Got all these markers in here. Too many markers. Too many markers. Should be right there. Where did I use it? There's 2 of them. I actually have 2 of them. Where did I put them? I need to take all these markers and move them down a drawer. Oh, there it is. Just put it down over there. I get this thing out of here. It's right there in the freaking fold of my pinky, man. Keep bothering the hell out of me. Get it out of there. Get her done. Get her done. yeah, well, like today, man, I wish my freaking eyes would work better. Um, as I was, damn it, stacking those two cords, I don't think he has a wood splitter. It looks like he's splitting it all with an axe by hand. So oh, I got, hold on. I think I got the bad way. Am I there? I think I got it. Oh, I think I got her. Did down in there? Did I, or is that the other way? Push it down in there further, you goof. I push down in there further. All right, got it. But that's a lot of work to go into the woods, have the saws, go in there, drive into the woods, cut the, I mean, it's there. It's there to be had. If you know, if you have time and you have the ability to, you know, get in there and have the saws and have the fuel and have the truck and the trailer, you know, that's money, that's effort, you know, because as I was, you know, stacking, I stacked 2 cords. That's not, you know, like a ton of stack, but, you know, stack 2 cords a day. And that's a lot of wood to be bucking up, especially because this young guy's, I mean, I think he's in his early 30s. But it's an honest living. They were 2 full cords too. He gave me 2 full cords of wood. They're full cords. And a lot of people short, and I got like 2 pieces that had just a little bit of punkiness, but barely any, you know, and really nice big pieces, a heavy, thick, you know, nice. This is um, lodgepole. So that's a lot of work to produce the food, to be a firewood producer, to bring it to truck filled, ready to go, gas, cooler, whatever, some food on the road, you know, be up there for the day, you know, go up there, you know, cut it, buck it, you know, get it into the truck. If, you know, they probably cut it in a round, bring it home and buck it. Looks like that's what he's doing, but still, that's a lot of work to then to produce a cord without a, you know, wood splitter. That's some work, you know. Um, he charged me 180. I think I paid 200, but I don't even care. I think I paid 200 is what I paid, but I don't even care. They said 180, and I think I took 200 in trade, and I'm cool with that. Giving them another $20, you know what I'm saying, in trade for their time. It's like rounded up to silver. Even some of the silver wasn't silver. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, um, because these are the guys who are going to be good to this vehicle, and they're going to go out there and they're going to haul 2 and 3 cords out of a time right now, instead of one cord at a time. And it's diesel, and it gets good gas mileage. You know what I'm saying? Good fuel economy. Turns on a dime. So, and I'll still have access to, you know, like I said. Uh, so I think it's a good, you know, it was a good trade, because I don't want to go cut firewood, man. I would, I would cut it if I could, you know, go out there and do it and had a day to, but I don't want to. Hell no, I haven't. You know what? I don't mean to go there, but for the last 5, 6 years, I have traded for firewood. I have traded every single year for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cords of firewood. Traded. Didn't ever cut no foot, you know, any wood, any firewood. Never cut any firewood. Traded it. picked up some here and there on jobs or whatever I did out here. Little bit of stacks are left on. But I always trade it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with it because they always get something. They work hard for. See, their money becomes a truck. This became a diesel flatbed for these. The two of the guys went together in on it, which is pretty cool. They even wrote me a bill of sale for both of their names. You know what I'm saying? Um, so they're young and they're in their 30s, and the one guy, he's got 4 kids, and the other guy, he doesn't. He's a hard worker. So yeah, good firewood, man. That's an honest living. Somebody right now could go make an honest living in the woods, and it's not like get rich, but you could probably make a pretty good living out of it if you worked hard. There is plenty of access. We live close enough in this valley to the wood line. We're right off the wood line, so you can go right there in 30 minutes. You're cutting deep into the big piles and pulling out. So this should be uh, a good vehicle for them to have. And like I said, I'm going to get some good firewood out of the deal. And like I said, it's nice to now I got firewood. Now I go back to burning firewood. I keep the cabin nice and toasty all winter long. I try to burn more firewood than I have to. I don't mean to be like that, but I just try to keep the cabin warm. If this cabin was more efficient, I'm going to take care of that next spring too. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, so it's a lot of work to process firewood, is what I'm saying, basically in a nutshell. So I think it's a good trade. I trade, somebody gets us something that they, and you know, to be able to trade in all your labor, that's a big come up for them. So all their labor just got them a tilt cab diesel flatbed dually, to go process 3. They could put a trailer and probably pull 5 cords out at a time now instead of pulling one cord. So this will make them much more efficient, like I said. So somebody could come out to this valley and just do processed firewood, I'm telling you, and make a good living. Don't deliver short cords. Both these cords today were full 4 by 4 by 8 cords. You know what I'm saying? Full cords. I know I stacked the one over there this way, and I stacked the one back here. Um, and it's a full cord, man. Nice and impressive to see, and good wood, and some big chunks too. Not overly big, but some good. If I want to split them, I'll split them. But which is nice too. Some people, when I get them from Veda in the other fire presser, they're all that one size, that uniform, this big. They're all that big. Every one of Veda's woods, every one of them's about that big. This guy, he's got, but I only pulled out of the whole cord, maybe to the side, like 7 pieces that are like thin wedges or little sticks. I mean, it was all wood. Because you get that sometimes with 2 people. You're just not very good consistently splitting. But I bet you he's got all laying on the ground. He ain't bringing it out here. You know what I'm saying? I use it. I'll pull it aside, and I use it to start fires. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind if there's a little bit, but none of that. Seriously, I got like 5 or 6 pieces. One piece that was flat like this big, and otherwise every piece is a nice big chunk. So, and not overly big, everybody, not this big, not too big this way too, because, sometimes you get them too long and they don't know everything's either, about 16 inches to 21, right around there. Those are perfect for this wood stove. So, um, thank you, Father, for letting me get some firewood, because I've been kind of a chilled out here, for the last, and it's not that cold, but now I'll have firewood and I think we're going to get dumped on if I'm here. And we've had a really Goldilocks kind of a setup here for the first part of the winter here. So I'm pretty certain I've watched these cycle happen. That means we're going to get crushed on the backside of the winter. So I'm expecting feet of snow in the months of, maybe February, March, April, May, because we got kind of a mild, so it's going to be really tough on the backside. And actually, the East Coast has been getting a little bit more crushed, obviously, right now because of La Nina. I bet you that'll shift back over, what I'm saying, to El Nino, possibly, and then the cold will, come over West Coast and it'll be warmer on the East Coast. It'll do the flip flop. It does that. It's part of the way that the jet streams work and the polar vortex. And yeah, it's not rocket science, but anyways, all right, guys, let's call that a night. Appreciate it. Love you, brothers, sisters. Thank you, Sabrina, for coming in, chit chatting me with here. I'm glad that I got something done. I feel like I accomplished something out here. So, stacked a couple cords of firewood. Um, and to me, like I said, it's money. So thankful that I didn't have to take my money to go get it. Which, if you really look, man, that's a lot of time involved. So thank you, Father, for sending me some hard working young dudes that gave me a really good, consistent wood with the full cord. So I have actually 3 more cords coming. They've dropped 2 so far, so we can bring 3 more, and that'll be nice. So appreciate it. Keeping the bones warm. I'm getting old, boy. Sure, different when you can. If I can keep the fire going now, I could actually get up, toss a few if I want in the middle of the night, and wake up to a warm house instead of waking up to a cold, where I jump out and it's cold and you can feel your nose, kind of. But I plan on getting all that fixed, or well, not plan. We'll make preparedness for come springtime. So, all right, thank you guys again. Appreciate it. Appreciate the thumbs up. People come in here and support the ministry. You don't have to agree with everything. Um, and somebody gave a Cash App. Somebody gave a PayPal. Nope, a super chat. That's what they gave. So I spent my Bitcoin today on the phone bill. So yeah, that was a big part today, and I got the land payments paid, the tax payment. The the taxes on the land. All the land, there's no taxes due. So all taxes caught up on all land. No land past due on any of the land out here. So I go away for a year now. I'm saying, if I wanted to, and not worry about, hey, I got land taxes coming due. It's all paid up. So thank you, Father, for giving me the ability to do that. And I took some of them because, like I said, I didn't get a lot of money, but some of the money I was able to put a little bit of fuel money away. I wish I had a little bit more. I would probably try to go get a roof nest. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have that kind of money, to get one of those roof nests. I really want to get one. We'll see. Maybe something else will pop. Like I said, maybe I'll take somebody will give me a little bit smaller unit and some cash for that car. I might list it for cash in, one of those battery banks, and somebody might give me a little more cash because I'm going to try to get one of those for the 4Runner. So it'll be good for the road. It'll save me money for hotels and motels, right? $100 a night across the board. You ain't gonna find no motel you probably want to stay in for $100 anymore. So you better check the sheets. So all right, love you, brothers, sisters. Thank you so much for coming in, Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. You want to support the ministry, there's links in the description, but you don't need to do it monetarily. Come back when you have some more time. All right, thanks again. Slow, Sabrina, everybody came in and it joined me today. The attorney didn't call me this week. Wow, that's maddening. He's going to have to call me next week. There's no more time. There's next week or nothing. So we'll see what happens. But if I don't see you again, we'll see you. We'll catch you on the other side of this flesh, right? Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.